Thank you, Caden, setting a new record here at TSN for the shortest toss from the studio to the booth, but that might be indicative of what we see from the aerial attacks here this evening in the nation's capital as we get a chance to see the drenched field at TD Place. Marshall Ferguson, Paul LaPolice, and Britt Dordt field level fours throughout the evening. Thrilled to be here with you to wrap up week number 1 of the Canadian Football League season, and Jake Maier could not be happier, despite these conditions, Lapo, to be back as a starting quarterback.
Yeah, and Jake Maier, interesting talking to him this week. He talked about he almost had a sabbatical year last year, backing up Trevor Harris in Saskatchewan, much more comfortable with the role. And for Cody Fajardo, the conversation with him this week talked a lot about, hey, I can have input in what the offense is going to look like for our team this year now that I'm the established starter.
It is Mark Killen, the head coach of the Edmonton Elks, hoping to put an end to the playoff drought. It was pre-COVID 2019, the last time that Edmonton was in the playoffs, and Ryan Dinwiddie makes the shift over to the Ottawa REDBLACKS from the Toronto Argonauts. Won 2 Grey Cups, of course, with Toronto, 2022, 2024, the 2023 CFL Coach of the Year. And in the time that Dinwiddie won 2 Grey Cups, the Ottawa REDBLACKS played in 1 playoff game. That is why he is here. As the ball is on the tee, see Khalil Pimpleton back alongside Daniel Adeboboye, ready to get things going. A short warm-up for these players, but the end of week number 1 is upon us as Pimpleton will get the touch from his own 12-yard line, crosses the 20, and will step out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line. And Ottawa won the toss and decided they want the football immediately for Jake Maier, Lapo.
Yeah, and Jake Maier, 5-9-1 in 15 starts last time he was a starter, and you can see, like, his completion percentage is, the last time he was a starter was 73%, 3,800 yards, 22 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. This is a quarterback that's thrown a lot of footballs, a lot of experience. Ryan Dinwiddie was very impressed with him throughout training camp, made the decision. This is the guy who's going to lead our team.
Elijah Collins lines up in the backfield alongside him, and he'll get the touch here on first down as Greg Bell not in the lineup, dealing with neck stiffness, and Collins, the extended handoff here, goes to the outside as we get a look at the Ottawa REDBLACKS starting offense that, again, does not include one Greg Bell, big free agent addition. Ryan
Dinwiddie said, I need to be a more physical O-line. Well, what do? Enter Giovanni Vaccaro, REDBLACKS first pick, the first pick in the CFL, an outstanding offensive lineman. Keelan White, 482 yards last year. Marshall, he's moved inside to the slot. Expect much bigger things from this second-year player from Montana.
Robbie Smith digging in at defensive end for the Edmonton Elks. We'll get to that starting lineup in just a moment as flags fly on the second snap of the ball game. Jake Maier awaits the call from our referee, Andre Proulx, at the helm here.
Offside. Ottawa number 7. 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Aiden Eberhardt has the call go against him, so just his second snap from scrimmage after coming over in free agency from the BC Lions, and yeah, he's going for a journey down there at the bottom.
You can see basically a hard count by the quarterback. He's going on 2. You got to time up your waggle. You always want your receivers, hey, be a little bit farther back if it's a hard count, so you're not offsides.
Maier gets a 4-man rush in the wet here in the nation's capital. Hit as he throws, checks it down underneath, and Collins on 2nd and long after the penalty pushed Ottawa backwards, will slide his way down around the 30, and the punting unit comes out, and it is a new punter as well for the REDBLACKS, Noah Getman in the lineup.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure up front, and you only have to rush 4 players when Dino Boyd gets pushed back a little bit, but when you're in an extra situation, Edmonton just drops back and plays zones, forces the ball to be checked down to Collins and get off the field. Good stuff for the defense to start.
New addition, Malik Carney, making his impact felt quickly as Edmonton came after it. Beautiful high spiraling boot. Drops all the way down after 55 yards of the waiting arms of Javon Leake. And the former Argonauts specialist returner gets spun out of bounds as Cody Fajardo takes the helm right from the very beginning here for the Edmonton Elks in 2026. Cody Fajardo and the Edmonton Elks last season, an opportunity for him to step in and try to reset the slow start that they had. Not unfamiliar for this organization, unfortunately, the last couple of years, but did just about everything he possibly could, including using his legs a whole lot just like that, and we expect more of that here tonight in the wet.
Yeah, 319 yards rushing last year. interesting stat for Cody tonight. 49 career wins. This, if he wins tonight, will be his 50th. But going back to what we talked about, like when you're the backup quarterback, you don't have a lot of say in the offense, right? The offense coordinator is going to have his say, but then also the starting quarterback's going to have things he likes. This season, he was able to impart some knowledge on some of the things he'd like Jordan McSimmick to put in. It should provide benefits for him.
Justin Rankin gets the first touch of the ball game. They'll toss it to the outside and expect plenty of this evening as Rankin breaks one for a first down on first down, setting the tone for an Edmonton offensive line that is big and restocked in free agency, a gain of 15.
Yeah, we got a little bit of bunch crunch. You got a bunch of people blocking down and then creating an opportunity to, you separate the defense blocking down and a little toss play to the outside, get Rankin the ball in space. Nice, easy 10-yard gain.
Empty it out here, 4-2 underneath and spinning backwards. And did the ball come out? At the bottom of the pile, looks like Ottawa has it for now. No signal from the officials, but you see the direction all of the arms are pointing for the Ottawa REDBLACKS.
Looked like Skylar Griffin on the catch. Cody's looking to trying to see the middle of the field.
On the field as the ball carrier was down with contact.
So Skylar Griffin splitting the defense as the linebackers expand. Cody recognized that little space, get it to Skylar Griffin. We'll see whether that looks like that ball's out a little bit early, whether that's a completion or I think it might be an incomplete pass here.
Yeah, it looks like it was loose, trapped underneath. But Niles Morgan, how about him making his impact felt extremely quickly at Notre Dame, jumping over from Edmonton. Ryan Dinwiddie taking a good look at it.
Yeah, not the funnest thing when you're Skylar Griffin. You got a couple of big linebackers in between trying to catch that little short pass.
Will Snyder in for the short yardage quarterback situation, sneaks his way to the left-hand side, plunges forward, first down Edmonton. Snyder fired up to get his first opportunity of the season as we get a look at the Edmonton Elks starting offense.
Yeah, really excited for a full season to watch Carter O'Donnell. Signed in September last year after a long NFL trip. He's going to be a great player for this offensive line, I believe. And the most explosive player in the CFL, Justin Rankin, led the CFL with 17 big plays last year. Get this guy the ball all game long. Love watching him play.
247 combined touches through the air and ground for Justin Rankin last year. No fumbles. That'll be challenged here tonight in the slippery conditions as this one is completed. Looks like Cephas makes the grab on the outside. First year out of University of Texas San Antonio. And he was one of the names that Mark Killen mentioned. Most competitive positional group in training camp for the Elks, and this guy won a job.
A little bit of a rub play there. You can see the wide receiver, Brendan O'Leary-Orange, widening out, lifting the lower player. And then Cephas just sits in the dead spot, and Cody Fajardo recognizes that these are the quick throws that Cody enjoys so much. Ball out of his hand quickly, help your offensive line, put yourself in second and short, give the ball back to Rankin.
Skylar Griffith motions around in the backfield as they'll hand it off. Rankin, jump cut, runs through contact, still on his feet, crosses the 55. And it'll be a first down as they rush the football on 2nd and 3 against this Ottawa defense.
Bryce Carter, 5 sacks last season, hoping to get back to 2013 when he had 12. Very good player outside on the edge. Hey, I highlighted all the linebackers because they're all brand new. A.J. Allen, Niles Morgan, you already talked about C.J. Rivas, and Alonzo Adai was a starter last year, got hurt week 1, missed the entire season. Good to see him back in at that free safety position.
Mario Houston underrated as well out there on the corner, but yeah, the linebackers definitely the big talking point throughout training camp for these REDBLACKS. Is quick slant, Austin Mack, the intended receiver, incomplete.
So this is what you call a protected run play. This is a pass built off the run. You're going to get pressure off of this side, and Cody's already seeing it. He sees it peripherally, and he goes, okay, well, I have a player on a slant in that space, so I can now just disregard the run play, throw the ball on the outside. Just missed Mack a little bit, just a little bit too far inside.
Sends Keon Julian Grant in motion. 7 touchdowns for the Elks last year, and then back underneath, it is complete. And the defense rallies for the REDBLACKS. C.J. Rivas right there again, the free agency addition coming over from Saskatchewan, credited for changing part of the culture in this locker room going into 26.
Big blitz picture here by the Red Blacks. They send a bunch of players. You see all three linebackers blitz, but then they drop out into a zone. CJ Rivas is the low player. Does a good job at understanding, hey, the ball's going to come out of the hands quickly. Wraps up for the nice tackle.
Julian, the punter for the Edmonton Elks, as he lofts this one into the rainy skies, and Khalil Pimpleton watches it bounce, chases it down, and picks it up at his 15-yard line as the Ottawa REDBLACKS get a stop. Much needed here to set the tone with this new linebacking core, figuring each other out on the fly and making plays early on. 26, and whoa, that is a haul that you see in front of you.
We already talked about it. The defense, they wanted to get better defensively. 3 brand new linebackers. Go out and get A.J. Allen, one of the high-priced free agents gives them a national starter. Obviously, Jake Mayer. Ryan Dinwiddie has done this before in Toronto. You know, he's had opportunities where Toronto's lost a lot of good players. He's able to reload and have successful teams and change.
You know, out of a boy, the back play action to him, flip to Khalil Pimpleton. Defense flies up, and immediately Cordell Jackson, part of this Edmonton starting defense, making the play.
Well, pretty excited about Malik Carney, and I'm sure everyone in Elksland is. Leading sacker for the Saskatchewan Roughriders last year, expecting great things from him. And then Niles Morgan leaves, goes to the REDBLACKS. Nick Anderson steps into that middle linebacker spot, and J.J. Ross started week 8 last season, was outstanding down the stretch. 5 turnovers in the last 6 games. This is a great young player, J.J. Ross.
Rack another stat up for Cordell Jackson, who was 10th in the CFL with 94 defensive plays last year. Best for any defensive back as Mayer looks to throw. They dropped Lee Carney out that time in coverage, but right on the spot, Nick Anderson missing all but 7 games last year. Groin injury, flies out and immediately covering down on the flats.
Another, you know, zone coverage when you got people second and extra, force the quarterback to check it down. You get a great opportunity to run downhill, make a tackle here. You can see the speed we have. You know, the speed of Nick Anderson is what impressed me 2 years ago. Player out of Tulane, how he could play that will linebacker spot. Now he moves into that middle linebacker spot and is even more aggressive.
It's a second straight beautiful punt here from Noah Getman, the newcomer at punter, and Javon Leake returns it, makes 2 men miss, and then runs himself right into a tackle. Is that Anthony Gosselin in the middle of the fray? It looks like it was in his 9th year out of Sherbrooke, one of the only holdovers from the 2018 Grey Cup team, as we see Edmonton and the way that they shook things up this offseason. You might notice there's a lot of connections to one team on the inside of the board.
Obviously, we're talking about the Hamilton Tiger Cats with Brendan Bordner, Coulter Winbancy, Jordan Murray, even Brendan O'Leary-Orange, who had a really good year with Hamilton last year. So a lot of guys coming in. Taylor Powell coming in at quarterback, but the big one I'm looking forward to is Austin Mack at wide receiver.
Talk more about that as the game goes on, but Mack, and on cue, his connection with Cody Fajardo back in 2023. Those two got after it together. Won a Grey Cup, of course, and Mack having a stellar season and looking forward to working with Fajardo again.
You just watch him. He's just going to run a quick out route, which is quarterback's just going to take the ball immediately, see that there's softness on the defense. That's called a free access throw. I'm just going to get myself a 6-yard completion. Demari Houston does a good job making a break on the play, but those balls are just too difficult when you're a soft corner to be able to come up and make a play.
Fajardo with 4 receivers available, looks to his right, comes back left, looking to take off and run on second down. Fajardo takes a big hit. And a flag flies as rolling over the top, CJ Rivas.
Defense is doing a pressure on the inside. You can see a blitz and a little bit of twist. Cody feels it, has to start scrambling. You know, he doesn't slide till late, so that puts CJ Rivas in a difficult spot. But I think this is more of a blow to the head than it's a late hit on the quarterback. I think that's what they're going to say, that this was a
major foul. Roughing the passer, contact to the head of the passer. Ottawa number 8.
It doesn't matter.
This is a 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
it doesn't matter what you do in football. You're not allowed to hit a guy in the top. You can't hit a guy in the head, right? That's just not allowed in the game. So unfortunate, you know, C.J. Reeves going to make a play, and difficult for him.
So Fajardo shakes that one off and goes back to work with a fresh set of downs from the Red Blacks 27-yard line. Blitz is on, and they had a running play called, and somehow Rankin danced his way out as flags fly everywhere. And Rankin inside the 15, jump cuts back again, down at the 10, and now they'll sort out the myriad of flags. We don't have enough flags flying to towel off the field the way that it is tonight, but
well, there's a big pressure coming. You see Bennett Williams is going to come into your screen and blitz. The receiver misses him, but Justin Rankin makes him miss. Then bounces outside, then makes somebody else miss, and then gets this huge main, cuts the weak arm. That's it, breaks across the grain. This is a huge play when he should have been stopped cold right in the backfield. There you see a face mask is what's going to create the first down opportunity for the Elks.
Second foul is a face mask on Ottawa. We're going to go up 5 yards, automatic first down.
So there's a holding. There was a holding by the Elks and a face mask, so it's a gain of 5 and the first down to put them just outside the red zone for the Elks. But an amazing run by Rankin. That's just why he's so fun to watch, his ability to move laterally and then get north-south.
Mark Gillum, head coach, watching on alongside receivers coach Jason Tucker. And I wonder if Jabari Arthur, that we saw pre-game, former CFL with the Calgary Stampeders, is going to take credit. He's the running backs coach here with Edmonton. I think Rankin gets all the credit on that one. We'll see what he does here, catching it out of the backfield and shooting down low that time. Safe, smart, trying to do anything to get Rankin down is Mario Houston.
Really smart here as Justin Rankin leaks out into the flat. The defender covering him starts to cover Bennett Williams. He's like, nah, I'm going to go to Cody Fajardo. Well, Cody just says, all right, you're going to do that. I'm going to throw it on the perimeter. But good rally. Mario Houston's right there for the tackle. That's what you got to do against Rankin. Wrap him up, get in front, force him out of bounds.
Big play early on here for the Red Blacks defense. 2nd and 8 from their own 20-yard line, trying to force a field goal. Importance based on the weather this evening and how valuable points will be as Brendan O'Leary-Orange makes the grab and immediately tackled Niles Morgan right there. A.J. Allen, his running mate in that linebacking core, never far from the play as flags fly.
Let's see what happens here. This was a quick throw by Cody. Probably not going to get you anywhere close to the first down.
Major foul, face mask. Ottawa number 1, 15-yard, a full 15-yard penalty and a first down.
So Niles Morgan on the tackle had another face mask. We'll see if we can get a picture of it.
Costly one for the Ottawa Redblacks. As I said, 2nd and 8. Throw was underneath, and then in the process of making the tackle, as Carter O'Donnell down on the field getting looked at by the training staff.
So this will be the first trip inside for the Elks into the red zone, which is, you know, an interesting stat about the red zone. One of the best teams in the CFL. Here, I think I got a better picture of the face mask here. There it is right there on Austin Mack, right? Puts his hands, knocked him around. Okay, so Niles Morgan on Austin Mack is where the face mask happened. But this team is the best in the Canadian Football League last year, Marshall, in the red zone. The most highest touchdown percentage. They just didn't get here a lot, right? They had the least amount of trips. So expect this team to be dominant again in the red zone this season.
Last year in the CFL, 60% of score zone trips resulted in touchdowns. That's the highest on record since tracking began in 2008. Edmonton, little option look this time from Fajardo, who puts the shoulder down. And Rankin wishing he could get the pitch on the edge, but well defended by the Red Blacks. Alonzo Adai.
Well, when you start running option plays, you don't have an answer. It's hard to have an answer for the quarterback. You're going to have to bring somebody else. And watch Alonzo Adai. Recognize it, starts running downhill. He's the second player to be there. Good play by the Red Blacks. A.J. Allen, Alonzo Adai in a good position to handle that option play by the Elks.
Mark Cordy is in at center, by the way, with Carter O'Donnell, the left guard, going to the sideline. Means that the original starting center, David Beard, slips over to left guard as Fajardo looks into the end zone and just past the outstretched arms of his intended receiver. Running through the back of the end zone. I think that was Keon Julian Grant. That was KJG. had 7 touchdowns last year, led Edmonton, but off target this time for
You're
CF7.
always looking to see what's in the middle of the field. If there's never somebody in the middle of the field, there's no free safety, what are you going to do? You're going to have a post player right in the middle of the field. You throw it right through the goal post, just a little high for Keon Julian Grant. You can see Cody's there. Wish he had that throwback. There's a lot of space in there. You can get inside position. He just missed the throw to Keon.
Vincent Blanchard out for the 12-yard field goal attempt to put the first points on the board in the nation's capital. It's up, through, and good. And Edmonton, who won both of the matchups against Ottawa last year with nearly 70 combined points between the 2 games. Well, they get the first 3 in sopping wet conditions. Keon Julian Grant that close to his first of 2026, but the wait continues. This year out of U Sports institutions. I'm just going to credit Giordano Vaccaro as being a U Sports guy.
Absolutely.
Why not?
The JP Metris winner 2 seasons ago, when you put that film on, a very physical player. Ryan Dinwiddie says we got to get more physical up front. Let's start the young player who is very physical.
Inside handoff here. Looks like Elijah Collins goes for a gain of 5. And by the way, UBC, Laval, Montreal, and the Wilfrid Laurier Golden Hawks, they get the nod as the U Sports schools that have the most, tied for 11 each at the front of the herd. As you see the physicality up front against Jordan Williams, and right behind the rookie.
And the big thing you're trying to do is like use your physicality, get underneath Williams, keep your feet moving on contact, and those are things he's shown on tape to be very good. And especially to playing the guard position, you've got to set the depth of the pocket. And you've really got to be physical on the inside.
Extremely happy with Vaccaro through training camp. That's why he gets the start right away. Is bobbled here. Looks like miscommunication in the backfield, and Mayer thinking about throwing it away, and now flips it into the Ottawa sideline. Is tracked down from behind by Kenneth Logan Jr. coming off a huge rookie campaign, and Mayer with a missed opportunity there on 2nd and 5. Not sure what went wrong in the backfield, but clearly a mess.
I think they were trying to do, I think it was a draw play, and Collins wasn't on the same page with his quarterback, because that could look like it surprised Jake Mayer. And he had to scramble, and good, difficult position. You're 2nd and 5 in a good position. They got to clean up. They're not getting any first downs so far this game.
Missed opportunity there for Mayer, who was named a captain this week alongside fullback Anthony Gosselin and defensive lineman Michael Wakefield. As Javon Leake driven inside his own 10-yard line once again by Noah Getman. Impressive showing early on. Despite the conditions, the heavy football. So flag flies. We'll clean it up on the other side of the break. And the miscommunication here. Elijah Collins found out he was their side for you here. It was an unnecessary roughness running through the center as Peter Ajay ends up getting bucked after long snapping it back to Noah Getman. It's a 15-yard penalty right in the middle of your screen there with the towel on. You see, I think it was Brock Mogensen that ran through him.
And again, it looked like he was lined up. You know, you're not allowed to be running through the center when you're aligned if you're touching any part of his body. So he's going to draw that penalty because it looked like he was in a position where he's in a gap on the center. He's not allowed to run right through. This is a protection issue in the Canadian Football League. A defenseless player is the long snapper. They want to protect him.
My apologies to Brock Mogensen. It was Noah Taylor, as you saw Mark Killam talking it over with Taylor, trying to coach him up on that one. So 15-yard penalty, and it results in a first down for the Red Blacks after they had already punted the football away. So Daniel Adeboboye in the ball game. Jared Brinkman, former Toronto Argonaut, in the middle of that play for the defensive line of the Double E.
Impressive, you know, so far through this first quarter is the Elks have not given up a lot of yardage on first down and forced the Red Blacks to be in long yardage situations. So holding up defensively, Brinkman and company.
Jake Mayer was 2nd and 7 in plus territory. Drenched, Mark Killam watches on as his defense digs in. They'll send pressure. Looks like they were in the 1-yard restricted zone. It passes incomplete. But it should go against the attacking Elks, despite celebrations on the back end by Kobe Williams.
Really good play by Kobe Williams, but that's going to come back.
Number 20, 5-yard penalty. We'll replay 2nd down.
A little bit of pressure on the outside. Kenneth Logan Jr. Okay, you'll see Kenneth Logan Jr. trying to blitz off the edge, and he just doesn't time. He ends up in the neutral zone on the hard count, but good job by Jake Mayer on the hard count. Nullifies the nice play by Kobe Williams knocking the ball down.
5-yard penalty. 2nd and 7 becomes 2nd and 2. Lewis, the lone receiver at the bottom of your screen. They'll run it his direction as Adeboboye puts a shoulder down and into traffic. He bullies his way across the 40 for a Red Blacks first down.
Love Daniel Adeboboye. 386 yards on 70 carries last year. Outstanding special teams player for this organization. A team that's lost a lot of their leadership in the special teams. They get Daniel Adeboboye last year. Been an outstanding addition to this Red Blacks team.
15th overall pick back in 2022 by the Ryan Dinwiddie-led Toronto Argonauts. Came over here, of course, while Dinwiddie was still with Toronto, but now they have a reuniting of sorts in the nation's capital. And needed tonight is Elijah Collins in the starting lineup, and this one complete to the man who always seems to be open, Justin Hardy.
Watch Justin Hardy here on a simple slant, and he gets a little bit of he doesn't have much of a cushion, and he gets contact as he's about to make this play by Kobe Williams, but great concentration. That's what you need when your catches are coming with contact. You got to make sure he brought the ball into his body a little bit to protect the football. Nice catch by Justin Hardy.
Hands it off. Adeboboye once again going nowhere. The Elks defensive front stands tall. Robbie Smith in the middle of that one, and Kobe Williams coming down as well. The 1 quarter of play. The rain starting to ease off just enough to open up these offenses, as neither of these teams slowing down despite the conditions. Excited to be back on the field, taking competitive reps, looking for their first victory here in 2026. Argonauts trying to find a way to lead this Ottawa organization to a place that they have not been, which is consistent success for a while. And on the other side, it's the exact same thing with Mark Lapo, as he's saying that it's more streamlined this year 2 in Edmonton.
Yeah, he talked about his first season, like when he showed up, we didn't even have a projector in my office. The projector was gone. Maybe somebody stole it. We're not sure. But, you know, he said everything's been great. As an Alberta individual, is going out and seeing people in the community, how positive they are, what the steps are happening with the Elks as the season progressed. So everything's easier for him. His relationships with the coaches, relationship with the players. It's been a really good transition for training camp.
And he kind of had the, as they go under center here for a quarterback sneak on 3rd and 1 to begin the 6th quarter. Ball's out, and Edmonton has it. That's going to make Mark Gillum happy in year 2. Short yardage operation. Supposed to be as consistent as you can imagine, but Cordell Jackson gets his first fumble recovery of 2026.
So Max Duggan here is the 3rd string quarterback getting his first reps. If you we'll try to watch his hands on this picture. You'll see as the ball comes in, it's wet, it squirts out of his hands. An unbelievable play by Jackson, being right there, having the instincts to see it. You can try to see, do your best to see that ball squirts right through Max Duggan's hands. First, you know, time in a regular season game doing this, and the rain doesn't help.
Cody Fajardo called run play on, throwing away from it, little slant route as Mark Cordy loses his helmet in the background. And by the way, Mark Cordy not getting the start in this ball game. He played 100% of the snaps in each of the last 3 years.
CFL had some of the highest passing ratings of all time last season because of plays like this. Just throw a quick slant, get the ball out of your hands, put it in Austin Mack's hands with a cushion, let him run with the football. High percentage pass game for this Elks offense.
Fajardo directing Austin Mack to his right alongside Keon Julian Grant. 1st and 10, 3-0 lead for the Elks. Check down underneath, Justin Rankin, and incomplete.
Good job by the defense, playing a little bit of zone, dropping everybody out, forcing Cody to go to his check down. Has trouble. Couldn't see the ball. Didn't get his eyes right, or couldn't see it.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think the lights right in front of us here in the broadcast booth might have interfered that time.
Well, if you can't see it because it's in the lights, what do you do? Put your hands on the lights. That's where the ball is. It's a little coaching point for all the young receivers out there.
Said than done, but I agree. It's Fajardo, 6 and 7 with the Elks last year. Will face a blitz this time, coming off the edges. Spins out to the left. Bennett Williams, slippery. Fajardo gets away, pump fakes, and now gets wrapped up from behind, up high. And folded to the turf in front of the Edmonton bench that's all the way over on the far side.
What did we just see? The patented Cody Fajardo spinning around, spinning to his right, makes an escape. There's a zone pressure look by the defense. So what does that mean? Zone coverage, but pressure on the inside. Cody feels that and has to take off because he has a free player right here. Bennett Williams doesn't take the upfield shoulder, gives Cody the opportunity, but the coverage in the back end was there, forcing Cody on 2nd and 10. He's only going to get not enough yards for the first down. So good stop. Bennett Williams got to prevent that. He's got to be the contained player. Don't allow Cody outside there. You know Cody's going to do that spin move. You talked about it, Marshall, on the call. Well,
I said to Cody, you know, I know that you are at your best when you're spinning out to the left. I feel like Cody might have remembered that mid-run because he also threw in the pump fake that he told us was his other patented move. He's like, I'm 15 yards down the field. Sometimes I just pump and defenders start jumping. As the injured Red Black way behind the play was Adrian Fry. Good to see him up on his feet despite moving pretty slowly. So we'll keep an eye on the Red Black secondary as Jake Julian gets set to send this one away. Lone returner back is Khalil Pimpleton. And it's a high lofting kick, but short. And will skip out of bounds directly as the flag flies. A legal kick out of bounds as Jake Mayer takes control after the 40-yard punt from Jake Julian. The Red Blacks with a chance to score their first points of 112th Grey Cup champion Jake Mayer took a bit of a professional development year, got hot in the preseason, named the starter for the Ottawa REDBLACKS coming into 2026. With more, here's Britt Dorff.
Yeah, Marshall, he actually used the word shocked. He came into this Ottawa REDBLACKS team. He said, I didn't expect to be the starter. I was going to give it my best, but you just never know in this league. And he knows that feeling. In Calgary, he was a starter. Then it was taken away. He spent that year in Saskatchewan last year where he said he learned a lot from Trevor Harris. He learned what it takes to be a Grey Cup champion, how to command a room. And that's what Ryan Dinwiddie saw from him in that preseason. He said he was really happy with the way he commanded the huddle, the leadership role that he took, and he put full trust in him. Interesting to see what's happening out here tonight, guys. We don't know if it's elements or what's playing a role, but interested to see how much longer Jake Mayer has this ball in his hand.
I thought it was great in the pregame, Brett, when you said to Jake, how happy are you to be back out here? He's like, couldn't be better. I'm like, Jake, it could. For your first time starting for a franchise, it'd be great to have, you know, 28 degrees, no wind, you know, beautiful sunshine, but he is doing everything that he can given the conditions he's been handed tonight. It is 3-by-3, empty they go. Mayer gets it away, and it is Keelan White. He was gushing about White and his development and growth from what he saw in the short training camp just over the last couple of weeks.
So Keelan White moved inside to the slot, a rotation to the coverage. Keelan White sits down in the dead space of the defense. Jake Mayer recognizes it, puts it right on him.
A bit of tempo here from the Ottawa REDBLACKS as Mayer looks underneath, incomplete. Goes to the feet of Gino Lewis. As Jake Mayer and his career numbers, and I got to be honest with you, as I was going through not just the career stuff, but the year specifically, you go 2024, you know, he's got this monster year with the Calgary Stampeders. 2023 sets career highs in this category and that category, and I'm wondering, he's 29 years old. Is his best ahead of him? Did Ottawa strike gold at the right time?
Well, and certainly you hear him talk about how comfortable I am in the system. It's because it's the same system. He came from Calgary where Ryan Dinwiddie came. It's a Saskatchewan system. Mark Mueller's system, very similar to what the Calgary system. So he was very comfortable when he got here.
Keelan White makes the grab. Looks like it's just short of the first down marker, and we'll see if they send out the short yardage unit. But yeah, he said this is the best iteration of this Calgary design that has swept through the Canadian Football League.
Yep, you can see Keelan White at the bottom of your screen right here. He's on what you call the crossing route. You have two crosser routes, and in zone coverage, you sit. So he just sees Joel DeBlanco just on the outside. In man, he would have stayed on the move. In zone, he sits down. That's what you call a mesh route, and he just finds the dead space. Quarterback recognizes zone very early, puts the ball in Keelan White's hand. Create the 3rd and 1.
2024 CFL Most Outstanding Rookie Nick Anderson was in on the tackle, and the injury tent is already up because we might have got a little look at something that wasn't quite right on a nail.
Let's see what happens here.
On the tackle. It's 3rd and short. 7th in the CFL was Ottawa last year. They handed off from the gun and going backwards. And this is one of those interesting trends that Ryan Dinwiddie brought with him from Toronto in terms of being under center. Last year, the Argonauts just just 38 under center snaps. That's 3.7% of their snaps, the lowest rate in the CFL. And Toronto fans were constantly saying, why are we under center in short yardage? Why are we in the gun? Why are we handed it? Well, it's here in Ottawa. It's going the other direction. Edmonton football.
Be able to make sure you protect your inside. Take a look at this. Here we have Malik Carney right here. He's going to slant inside, and he's going to beat Martez. He's going to beat the tight end and force the back to stop his feet on 3rd and 1. The back cannot stop his feet on 3rd and 1. One of the reasons you like to go from the shotgun, not from the shotgun in those situations. But great by Malik Carney.
Right across the face of Samuel Carson, and so on 3rd and short, Edmonton re-earns possession, and the crossed arms of Ryan Dinwiddie watch on as the Elks will face 2nd and 9 in this Red Blacks defense. Man, what a turnover would do for them here in the 2nd quarter to try and breathe some life in field position.
And Marshall, to talk about, you say, well, why do sometimes you go on 3rd and 1 instead of, well, you may not be really happy with how your quarterback has just fumbled the ball. So you're going to go, hey, we're going to go, we're going to hand it back. We got to handle our gaps, and that can turn into an explosive run sometimes with shotgun runs.
Man, rush. Fajardo loads it up on 2nd and 9, and up in the air, caught down to the 10-yard line. It's hauled in by T.J. Luther in his first year at a Gardner-Webb.
Beautiful throw on the perimeter. You got to go up and make the play. But what I want you to watch right here is watch the corner is low, Shakir Brown, and then the halfback's high. They've got a deep throw on the outside. Because Brown's so low, not backpedaling, Cody sees it right away. Then you've got the jump ball here by Luther, because Lucent's in a good position, but Luther goes up and takes the football away. That's a great explosive play.
Gain of 39. Now Fajardo is hunting for a touchdown to Austin Mack, extending for the end zone, makes the grab, and the pair of Fajardo and Mack back on the same page and back in the end zone in green and gold.
I talked about in the pregame explosive plays, an explosive play, the very next play, a touchdown. Cody Fajardo to Austin Mack on Kate's favorite play, the sluggo on the outside. It's a slant and then go. You always have inside position as a defensive back. Houston's inside position down at the goal line. Beautiful catch by Austin Mack on the sluggo on the outside. One explosive play leads to a short field and a great touchdown by Austin Mack.
In their last season together, Montreal 2023, Austin Mack, a top 5 receiving season, over 1,100 yards, 78 catches, which was 4th in the CFL, 5 games of 100+ yards, and of course, it was en route to a Grey Cup and all CFL honors as well. And perhaps the most important note when you're watching this tremendous connection from 7 to 3.
Caught the back of the ball.
Austin Mack certainly paid off. I'd call a guy that can catch a back of a football like this a lot too.
Caught the back of the ball. He didn't even have the front of the ball. Just caught the back. Amazing catch by him.
Austin Mack hungry for the end zone and disappointed obviously to leave Montreal, moving his family around as well. One of the true good guys in the Canadian Football League, and he has landed here in Edmonton, immediately paying dividends for a group that needed a true X-receiver.
One of those players last year, you're right, moved his entire family to Montreal, embraced the cold, embraced everything. His entire family drove across the country here to now they're going to be in Edmonton. So an outstanding young individual for our league.
Templeton with the return as we go down to Brent Dort with more on the Austin Mack Cody Fajardo connection.
Yeah, you're mentioning those phone calls, Marshall. He said his phones never rang more, and who was it all from? Cody Fajardo. And he said if you know one thing about Cody, it's that he actually doesn't really use his phone. He only uses it to call his wife and his family. He said all those calls paid off. Cody wanted him to come to Edmonton. They wanted to have that connection again. And Fajardo told us, I put my recruiting cap on for a little bit for the first time in my career. He said the reason I wanted Austin Mack, not only because we have a great connection and he's a fantastic player, but he said this receiving corps could really benefit from a leader like him on the field.
Being able to connect everybody, get them on the same page. He said early in training camp he was focused on teaching everyone as much as he was about performing, as well as Elijah Collins dropped the football. And back-to-back turnovers, one on downs, and now a fumble. And it's all going sideways for the Red Blacks in their home opener.
Good things happen when you run to the football, and when you're there, especially in conditions like that, go ahead and take a shot on your way by. You can see it right there. I believe that was at DeBlanco on that first push, knocks the ball out. Excellent play. You got to go take a play for the football. You can't have the ball below your elbow. Not great position by Collins. Big stop by the big turnover by the Red Blacks again.
Gerardo looking for a quick throw, incomplete for Kale and Julian Grant, and the Edmonton offense was standing on the sideline kind of admiring their work and the beautiful catch by Austin Mack, but now feeling the push of momentum. Takes them back onto the turf here and trying to add more points onto the board before we reach half.
Well, we've had 3 turnovers in this quarter, right? We had the quarterback sneak fumble, we've had the turnover on downs, and now we've just had this turnover, and the ball's now in the short end of the field for the Elks.
CJ Rivas, you saw there for a second, talking it through on this defense. Niles Morgan, man in the middle. A.J. Allen, free agent addition from Saskatchewan. The Red Blacks send pressure. Fajardo feels it, fades away, gets it away. Rankin with blockers out in front. They set up a screen. He's got an opportunity and a good tackle by Niles Morgan. If he doesn't wrap up Rankin, that's another 6 for the Elks.
So we got a screen pass here. Good call into the blitz. What do you want to do when they're blitzing? Call a screen pass. But what I want you to watch is Carter O'Donnell right here. Watch this guy. You want to play defense in the Canadian Football League? Yeah, when you're a defensive back, you're one of those little guys going to make the tackle. Watch what happens right here. Boom, boom, you get knocked over. Brian, like, that is not an easy thing. I think that was Brian Cole that got knocked over by big Carter O'Donnell.
Fajardo just in behind trying to settle his receiver, Kale Julian Grant, into a soft spot in the Red Blacks defense, but it hits the turf. Yeah, you see big O'Donnell there making the move downfield. Gain of 23 on that explosive screen pass, by the way, for Justin Rankin, and he continues to add to his receiving prowess. Said he wanted to go 1,000 and 1,000 if he could this year. Off to a solid start here this evening.
Closest would have been Andrew Harris, I believe, in 2018. Missed it by about 70 yards receiving. I think it was 920.
It was great, too. We brought up to Austin Mack. Well, you know, Justin Rankin's getting all these touches and all this attention, and Austin stopped us and said, hey, first of all, Justin Rankin is unbelievable.
He should.
Yeah. Should get every touch he possibly can in this offense. As Fajardo looks over the middle, crossing route is open, big stick. As Brendan O'Leary-Orange, the big body free agent acquisition from the Tiger Cats, hangs on to that one, but short of the Sticks field goal unit with Vincent Blanchard comes off the sideline.
Sometimes protection can help you, protect your secondary. There's an open receiver. Austin Mack is open on this play. It just happens a little bit too deep, and then they have to go down to their check down to Brendan O'Leary-Orange. They had the throw to Austin Mack. It just happened so late, and the push by the offensive line forced the ball underneath to Brendan O'Leary-Orange.
Attempt comes from 18 yards away. And spinning sideways through the uprights here at TD Place. Don't miss the new season of the groundbreaking HBO original, hailed as a TV landmark with standout performances. Euphoria, streamed now only on Crave. And I found out on Thursday night that Rod Smith said, just be careful who you watch that one.
Okay. Yeah. I will not watch it with my family.
As once again, here in Ottawa, the real winner tonight is poncho sales. Jake Mayer looks left, comes back to the right, gets away from Robbie Smith and slides his way down just shy of the first down marker. Fans want a flag, as DeBlanco doesn't see anything wrong with the contact that he made, starting weak side linebacker.
Something you don't see often from Jake Mayer. He's looking to his left, doesn't like the quick game throws. And again, if you don't get the ball out of your hands in quick game, you're going to put yourself in a difficult position with the pass rush. So he feels the pass rush. He's now got to take off and go. Scrambles up. We'll see what happens right here. We get a little bit better. I can't tell whether there was a blow to the head or not. Officials didn't seem to think it was. Oh, there it is. Yep. I think you're going to get a challenge flag now.
And the Red Blacks faithful in mid-season form is Drew Tate.
Yeah. Former Calgary Stampeder.
Iowa Hawkeyes great as well. As the CFL Replay Center will take a look at the contact up high, and you see Drew Tate there. And what a collection of coaches Ryan Dinwiddie was able to accrue making the move here to Ottawa, whether it's William Fields being retained as defensive coordinator, one of the young rising stars in the CFL, Jeff Reinbold on special teams, Pete Costanza could be an OC just about anywhere, stays as receivers coach, and Drew Tate working with the quarterbacks.
So here's another look, and the command center, you know, the command center is not interested in looking for the replay center is not interested in looking at offsides, you know, holding.
Upon automatic review by the replay center, there was contact to the head, roughing the passer, Edmonton number 50, 15-yard penalty, and a first down.
But the replay center will look at a blow to the head, something that is going to, you know, they're going to protect the quarterback, so they will stop play, come look at that, because it's such an important play, and they want to protect the quarterback.
By the way, it's not CFL season until our tremendous CFL and TSN crew gets a shot of all of those turf pebbles stuck to the arm of a quarterback, right? Slow-mo. Great stuff from the crew. Fighting through the weather here tonight as Daniel Adebaboye makes the grab out of the backfield, and Blanco right there to make the tackle.
And this is good. These are good things to do. Everybody's playing off. Get the ball in the flat to Daniel Adebaboye. Let him run with it. Put yourself in second and medium to second and short. And I expect Daniel Adebaboye to get a lot of touches now with how Collins has performed as a young player. I expect Daniel Adebaboye to finish this game.
You know when you go from the NHL regular season to the Stanley Cup playoffs and all of a sudden the speed picks up? The hits are harder. Don't you get a sense this first half, all these bodies are kind of going, oh, okay, this is what real football feels like. It's not the preseason anymore. As what a shot by Jake Mayer, standing in and rifling one for the first down, throwing it beyond the sticks in between coverage.
Love this. This is what you call it. This is going to be a dig route, all right? But what's within the dig route is a mesh. So watch the two crossing routes. The crossing routes spread everybody out, and then it allows you to throw the dig.
And Mayer threw that one into a tight window. Flag comes out as Eugene Lewis hangs onto it, makes the grab. Cordell Jackson came to see if he could get a little piece of that one, but
so single receiver on a quick slant. Cordell Jackson, watch his vision. He sees the ball being thrown quickly on this is actually, a fin route. Why is it a fin? It's a 5-yard in.
Defensive pass interference. Edmonton number 29. This will be a 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And J.J. Ross just got there too early for that 5-yard in. Make some contact. First catch for Eugene Lewis for the night.
Getting close to Gino's hunting ground as well. Active touchdown catch leader, 3 from 50 in his career, and enters tonight 100 career touchdowns, back of some guy that's about 15 feet away from me, Milt Stegall. As the handoff inside, and Adebaboye churning the yardage here. Fresh set of downs once again, deep inside Edmonton territory.
What I want you to watch here is Joel DeBlanco is going to show up here, and then he's going to work for a little bit of width. He's going to try to contain for the quarterback. And also, the defensive end's trying to contain for the quarterback, Malik Carney. Two players do the wrong thing. They're both in the wrong gaps. They're in the wrong spaces. That allows that ball to be thrown right up. That ball is being run right up in the middle of the field. Two people in the wrong spot, Marshall.
The Ottawa REDBLACKS trying to get points on the board before half. They trail 13-0. We've hit the 3-minute warning here in the nation's capital.
Weather. Milt likes the connection between Cody Fajardo and Austin Mack like it's 2013. Ches likes the run defense from the Elks. And you know what? I am never leaving the booth. This is the best vantage point I have ever seen a CFL game.
That's where it is.
And
where it all happens.
you know it's a great day when I can say the word sluggo.
Yes. I was thinking of you, Kate.
Thank you, Kate. You know what? Enoch's going to come over in the second half and just call the second half
call
with
a couple
us.
defenses.
Let's go. In. Chezzy's been eating all the snacks in the booth here during the first half. Jake Mayer loads this one up, rifles it in to Justin Hardy. Flag flies in backfield as well, and I think Malik Carney might have got flagged for a hit here. Oh, actually going to call it against the REDBLACKS, it looks like. As Ivy against Malik Carney. The former Elk against the new one at that offensive tackle defensive end matchup.
Holding Ottawa number 50. 10-yard penalty. We're going to replay first down.
You'll see right here, Malik Ivy, as he starts to retreat, he opens his hips a little too early, and then that right hand goes outside the framework of the body and pulls Malik Carney down. He's got to make sure he keeps his shoulders a little bit more square and just keep running him upfield. Keep him away from the quarterback, run him upfield, don't turn your shoulders.
Martez Ivy played 95% of the snaps for Edmonton last year. This went high in the air, and Gino Lewis just couldn't get his hands on it. Flag flies. Tyrell Ford in coverage.
Defensive pass interference. Edmonton number 30. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
A little bit of contact right before. That's the problem with some of these short footballs. When the ball is going to be short, you're going back to get it. Tyrell Ford is in a good position, but when the ball's short, he ends up just bumping into Eugene Lewis. That call's probably going to happen every time because you throw a bad ball and then you get rewarded for it. It's sometimes a bad thing with pass interferences.
In the gun from the 1. Adeboboye leaning forward towards the end zone. They'll say he's down shy. Did not break the front. Second down.
So this is an interesting situational football thing. So you've already fumbled a snap, right? You're 2nd and 1 here. What are you going to do? You're going to put your big people in, but are you going to do another quarterback sneak? That's what 95% of the time you should do, but they've had problems with it. They're going to have Jake do it, or are they going to hand the ball back 7 yards? It'll be interesting to see what J.C. Sherritt thinks happens. Defensive coordinator, the Elks right there. And they stay in gun.
Bear takes the snap, hands it off, Adeboboye drives the legs. Touchdown for the Canadian, the first points for the Red Blacks in 2026.
Good push at the front point of attack. Drew Desjardins, excuse me. Dino Boyd, a couple extra tight ends in the game. Go ahead, put the ball downfield, downhill, in what we call the pistol. Keep your shoulders square, keep your legs driving, run over anything that shows up at the 1-yard line and finish with your feet in the end zone.
And cut a wood cookie for the first time here. New season, new start, but a reliable old running mate, Daniel Adeboboye, filling that backup role admirably through a variety of different roster changes, and immediately goes to work on special teams for coordinator Jeff Reinbold. But here's a look at the score.
And Elijah Collins was the starter to start this game, had some problems. Daniel Adeboboye, very valuable player, goes in, gives his opportunities to make his plays.
Red Blacks inch themselves closer to Edmonton here. Much, you feel like really much needed before reaching halftime to put something on the board, get some energy going, because that locker room for the Red Blacks at halftime, if there was a donut sitting there, that would have been a tough one, right? You're walking around trying to wake everybody up, fire everybody up, but now that's been done. You can go in and start planning for, okay, we saw what worked. How do we keep it going?
Yeah, and you know, a 9-play 70-yard drive, that's what you need. They took 3 minutes off the clock and got them a touchdown. Yeah, they hit early in the first quarter. They got behind the sticks. They're in long yardage situations. Very hard to overcome that, especially with the weather. And then obviously we talked about the 3 turnovers they had. They're actually in a pretty good spot, 13-7, with so many turnovers in the first half.
Jake Maier, 10 of 12, 64 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions as it stands right now. And he said the Ottawa fans will see someone who's prepared, plays with accuracy and intention, and when the intensity rises, they'll see someone who keeps his poise. We'll see if the rest of this roster follows his lead as we head towards the second half, but work to be done. And they begin with a solid special teams effort against Javon Leake. As we see the Edmonton penalties helping out on the Ottawa touchdown scoring drive.
Blow to the head that the replay center found out here. A little bit too close for J.J. Ross. Tyrell Ford on the PI here leads to ball at the 1-yard line. Daniel Adeboboye in. So a couple of crucial penalties for the Elks. leads to this touchdown for the Redblacks.
Anybody else having Tyson Philpott flashbacks on that underthrown ball on Thursday night? Montreal Hamilton as the Alouettes squeak that one out. Follow my lead here, Lapo. 30-27 Montreal with the victory last night. Winnipeg 30-28 over Calgary. 30-29 tonight.
There
what do you think? We
we'll
get 1 point closer? Or?
Big second half.
Yeah. We'll find out as the weather is actually starting to settle in. It doesn't change the fact that the football on the field is absolutely drenched, but
those iPads better be waterproof on the sideline. You see Aaron Grimes trying to watch it with DeBlanco. And
you're already in midseason form with lamination,
lamination.
though.
I live in Ottawa. I know it's going to rain every game.
Cody Fajardo was aware of the threat as well, said he was planning for it as flags fly through the Ottawa air.
6 illegal procedure. Edmonton number 68. 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Jordan Murray at right tackle. You know, he's got to go out on the outside, so he's just trying to get, he's a little worried how much width he's got to get, and he just jumps to count a little bit as you see him sliding all the way out to Baldonado.
I'm gonna lie, if I had 36-inch arms like Jordan Murray, I don't think I'd be worried about getting out of my stance quick. I can reach anybody.
6'8", 300 pounds. Played 4 seasons with the Ticats.
Martez Ivey also 36-inch arms, so they took one tackle and sent him away and gained another one from Hamilton. And Jordan Murray is now, Fajardo has to tuck it, going nowhere, brought down. And Bryce Carter with his first sack of the season.
Bryce Carter, you're going to see there's going to be a little bit what you call a twist. While you're doing this, you're trying to get the offensive line on different directions, and you can see what happens. As O'Donnell moves to the left, he gets picked, and then Bryce Carter can come around. He has a free shot to the quarterback, so great execution on the twist by the D-line of the Redblacks.
Cody Fajardo took a CFL high 40 sacks last year, despite taking over as the starter in the 8th week of the season. It's a big reason why they rated the Tiger Cats and their pass protection. For 3 bodies at Woodmansey, Bordner, and the aforementioned Jordan Murray, but nothing doing that time as Cody hits the ground. And Ottawa gets the football back as halftime coming up. Caperness, Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez,
to
and
our
Milt
right.
Stiegel.
Right to the right.
I really hate that I don't have a football to just play catch with Milt right now. I've always wanted to play. Sorry, Kate. Kate wants me to play catch with her. I just want to play catch with somebody. That's all. That's all. I could sidearm sling it, but Enoch would be right there to knock it down.
Enoch's going to get the pick. He's going to knock it out, hit a fan probably in the stands.
I really wish this was one of those mini football giveaway games, you know? Great to have the fans out here in Ottawa despite the conditions. Soaked and soaking it in. As this one incomplete, looking for Justin Hardy. Jolta Blanco, excellent job, recognition, and fighting his way back to knock it away.
This is what you call a bender route. You're trying to wrap around the linebacker, but DeBlanco understands that the ball's going to be thrown on the inside, on the skinny post inside. Almost makes a play for the interception, but good spot. Difficult throw for the quarterback. He's got to lead it a little bit farther inside or check it the ball down.
Great 2nd and 10. Their own end there, hard count. And Laundry hits the turf once again. Will it go against the same yellow helmets as the flags are colored?
Offside. Ottawa number 7.
The answer is no. Aiden Eberhardt goes again on a hard count, second time in this first half.
It's just, that's a brutal penalty. You got the lineman sitting in there with a blitz and a pressure. You can't get penalty. That's the second time a receiver's been offsides for the Redblacks. They have to back up in their way. You got to know them down in distance.
Also 2 guys that have never played together, right? With Mayer trying to get used to his cadence.
I don't give him that excuse. He's had enough reps to be able to know when to go on to.
Mayer firing downfield, almost back-shouldered this one. Intentional or not, looking for Gino Lewis and J.J. Ross. Excellent coverage that time. You highlighted him in the opening rosters that, Bo, because he made plenty of plays like that as Edmonton's defense improved down the stretch.
Yeah, he had forced 5 turnovers, 7 pass knockdowns in his last 7 games. You see him where he doesn't get out of his back pedal. He's very slow to get out of his back pedal, and that's what you want out of your corner. You can't get too afraid, or else they're going to throw this deep comeback or curl or throw behind. He's in a good position. He doesn't get scared. He stays there and can make a play on the ball.
Well, they've been excellent going the other direction. This one a bit of a low line drive that will take a Red Blacks bounce or 2, and Javon Leak wrapped up at the 45-yard line as a flag down on the turf as well at the end of that play. Inside a minute remaining here in the first half in the new era of the Ottawa REDBLACKS with Ryan Dinwiddie. Had this guy on his team once upon a time with the Toronto Argonauts, making big return after big return.
Yeah, and the hard part of that last series is, you know, incomplete pass, punt. You still leave 58 seconds left, and you punted and gave the ball back to the Elks with pretty good field position. And now they're in a, you know, they got 58 seconds to get where they need to at least maybe kick a field goal.
There's no infraction for no yards. The player was pushed in. It will be first down for Edmonton.
Andre Prue picks up the flag. Both to Gili, defensive tackle, digging in. 4th round pick last year, has delivered early on in his CFL career. There's more flags.
Illegal procedure, Edmonton number 53, 5-yard penalty.
Brendan Bordner has the flag go against him. Ryan Dinwiddie elects to back up Edmonton's offense.
The left tackle, Brendan Bordner, jumped a little early.
His 3rd year out of Florida Atlantic University as pressure comes from the secondary right through, and Fajardo spun right into what should have been a sack but somehow got away and then flips this one into the Edmonton bench. All levels of the Red Blacks defense smothering Fajardo on that snap.
And sometimes there's some of these zone blitzes that put you in a difficult position, and you're going to see a pressure from the outside. And Alonzo Adai comes in between the guard and the tackle on a pressure, is unblocked. Cody actually makes a miss here, does a good spin move to get out of it, but Bryce Carter's chasing him down. They do a good job here of pressuring the quarterback, still playing zone, but they got to have an answer when you bring those secondary pressures. You got to have a back, or the lineman got to go at least
on
get
a previous play. The ball never crossed the line of scrimmage. When the ball was thrown, we've got intentional grounding on Edmonton number 7.
It looked like Fajardo's arm might have been hit as he was trying to get rid of that one. We'll get another look at it here as he spins away. But yeah, the timing on Alonzo Adai.
Line of scrimmage is at 21 right there. Okay, we'll roll it and go ahead. You see his die on the blitz here, and because it's an empty protection, the linemen are not going to be in a good position to be able to recognize this. Cody's trying to make the play, and it just looks like he's in that gray area where he didn't get the ball past the line of scrimmage.
4 receivers to the right of Fajardo as he looks for another screen and knocked down. Swatted away. And was that Agili?
Okay, you'll see a screen pass that's going to leak out with a couple offensive linemen going, but Agili's going to recognize it, and especially when you have what these are called twists, you free up defensive lineman. He recognizes it, throws his big paw up there, is able to knock it down before the screen can be thrown. Right, you got to try to move your arm angle to try to get that screen pass out to Rankin, but it's hard because the backs aren't the biggest guys, and Agili's a big guy with a big hand up in the air.
Look to Agili, same build as Willie Jefferson that we saw with a couple of knockdowns last night, right? I mean, tall, lanky. Little different, but
big return by Khalil Pimpleton here.
He thought he had something for a second there.
Second in the Canadian Football League last year with over 2,300 yards in return yardage. Diminutive receiver, 5'8", but can really turn on a dime. Like, he's just got such a strong lower body, Marshall. Really good football player. Keep getting him touches.
He is tough, too. Don't take the undersized frame by mistake. As it looks as though Daniel Adeboboye, and rightfully so with carries like that, is going to lead Ottawa's ground game into this second half. A run of 14 yards that time as Elijah Collins has stayed firmly planted on the sideline after his fumble.
And situational football, if this play hits for big yardage, then you're going to go what they're doing right now. They're going to go tempo and try to, all right, we're close. We got a first down. Let's try to get in field goal range.
They're taking a shot and feathers it over the top of Joel DeBlanco right in to the waiting arms of Khalil Pimpleton. And again, Ottawa will go quickly, but what a throw by Jake Mayer.
Okay, we're going to get a leveled play where we go back into the inside.
There's Mayer, incomplete. But yeah, the throw here, Lapo.
See, this is people call this cutter or scissors. The inside player clears everything out. The outside player comes in his wake behind him, and you throw. Great throw there. As they go to tempo right after that play, because they're sitting here at 8 seconds left. So they're going to try to get a little bit closer to be able to kick a field goal.
And as you say, it is situational end of the half, but Ottawa's offense ran 58 tempo plays last year, 4th in the CFL. Expect a lot more of them with Ryan Dinwiddie coming over. His Argonauts last year ran almost twice as many as, once again, Adeboboye, with 3 seconds remaining, gets them inside field goal range.
When I saw that hole open up, how it opened up, the first thing in my mind is like, I hope these guys understand what I would call a Seiko situation is Adeboboye has got to get down. He may keep running, get extra yardage. You can't let the clock go to zeros here. So that's something you do with your players. You say, all right, here's the situation. We want more yardage for the field goal. But if you break this thing, you have to leave us time to run one more play. As we know in the Canadian Football League, if there's time on the clock, you get to run one more play. But if he would have kept running, got tackled with zeros, they would have had to go into the half. So really good situational football and really good play here to get the field goal attempt.
Sean McEwen, good to see him back up onto his feet. Looks like he might have just gotten winded. And Brett Lowther stepping in as Lewis Ward no longer owning the kicking job here in the nation's capital. As the clock strikes zeros, Lowther will introduce himself to the Red Blacks faithful, and our nation applauds. Closing down the game to a 3-point Edmonton advantage as they have the decision to make to begin the second half.
I think Ottawa's got to be very happy how this first half has played out after the crucial mistakes they've had as an offense. They struggled with penalties early on. They struggled with turnovers, and they're still sitting here 13-10. So hats off to the Red Blacks defense, holding off the Elks after the turnovers and getting them to kick field goals. This is a very good Elks team that's getting better. You can see defensively they're better. How about this catch by Austin Mack? Back part of the ball on the sluggo. Cody Fajardo is so excited about having this guy on the sideline. We got Britt Dort down on the standing by on the sideline with Austin Mack.
Austin, just how much do these elements play a role in what this offense is able to do out here?
Hey, man, we had rain all week in practice, man, so we're actually really prepared for it. At the end of the day, we just got to stop shooting ourselves in the foot.
Does it feel like you picked up right where you left off when you're catching a touchdown pass from Cody Fajardo like that in the end zone?
At the end of the day, I'm just trying to be available for my quarterback and for my teammates, make plays, man, to come out of this game with the win.
Thanks for this one.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, Kate. Hope you guys are enjoying the nice dry booth up there.
Thank you, Britt. It is so dry and warm up here. I'm never leaving the booth. I've told the guys this many times tonight. I'm sorry, Marshall Ferguson. I'm coming to take your job at some point. But right now, I have to host this panel. Enoch Mohammed, Davis Sanchez, Milt Steele, and we've got ourselves a football game. And look, this has been the theme of week 1 so far, and we're expecting another fantastic ending to this one. Milt, let's talk a little bit more about Austin Mack. And Britt asked him, is it nice just picking up where you left off when he was with the Montreal Alouettes, and so is Cody Cody Fajardo. And look, he said the right answer. I'm just trying to get a win, whatever. But you could see that instant connection, and you know he is loving this.
Yeah, he's loving the fact that he's back with his quarterback we played with in 2023. Grey Cup. They also have another guy there, TJ Luther, and we talked about him with Ed Hervey before the game, the GM, and he said this was a guy they brought up when they expanded the practice roster and he got hurt. And usually when a guy on practice roster gets hurt, they get rid of him, but they believe in this guy, and he's paying dividends now, making big plays like this. This is not an easy catch, but he's even more difficult in this weather. And then you have this man right here, Austin Mack. Don't be surprised about this catch. We expected to see this out of him, and he's continuously doing this. This is a difficult catch. You see he's catching it at the tip of the ball. Hands are wet, gloves are wet, football is wet, but he makes a catch, and that's what they expect out of him. So Cody Fajardo did a great job allowing these guys to make some plays.
Did he have gloves on in warm-ups?
He didn't have gloves on in warm-ups.
And then he put them on in the...
Yep.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. I kept my gloves on at all times.
Because you mentioned that he had warm-ups with no gloves in the game.
I don't, it might have been a mental thing, saying I can catch the ball without my gloves, and now he puts them back on and makes it easier, so that's the only thing I can think of.
We spent the whole preseason talking about all the dynamic playmakers in the league, and then similar to playoffs, you get weather like this, and it's all about between the tackles. It's all about that physical run game and less about the X and O's. In the first quarter, it was Edmonton, and one guy in particular is their middle linebacker. And when Nick Anderson went out of the game, Ottawa had 8 rushes for 15 yards, and that's a grown man. He simply won that battle between the tackle box. He was all over the place. He had 6 tackles in the first quarter. Like I said, they had 15 yards on 8 carries when Nick Anderson went out of the game, and that was the difference. You saw Justin Rankin making plays in the run game, making people miss, and then on the flip side, he was shutting everything down. Now, the difference, the second quarter, you saw Adeboye change that, and they started to get things going. But that was the first quarter. Ottawa got physical. Remember, Ottawa's run defense, the #1 yards per game run defense, or yards per rush run defense in the league. So they're back to what they usually do.
Listen, the most consistent theme in the first half was the weather. It was raining all day, and it was rainy. You talk about, do you put your gloves on? Do you take them off? They're trying to figure it out right now as the game continues. And look, we see the effects of that. Turnover here on and a little sneak that was going to get you a first down. And then you see Adeboye who took over afterwards from Elijah Collins, who had another turnover afterwards. Guess what? He lost his job. He started in as a starting running back. Guess what? Now Adeboye took over. Again, if you're a defensive player, you come in this game, you talk about Nick Anderson, he was excited for this game. Already had 6 tackles. These are the type of games as a linebacker, as a defensive player, or you're running down kickoff for special teams, you want to be in this type of game because the ball is wet. All you got to do is poke it out, and it comes out. You can create turnovers, and in this game, every possession matters. The weather is going to be a thing to watch.
It's a huge factor. And by the way, too, no one wants to see Nick Anderson, injured once again. We have watched him to be injured for such a talented player. I mean, he needs to be on the field for the Elks. And by the way, let's give a little love to these fans.
Yes.
There are thousands of fans here tonight. Thousands. And it was a complete downpour. And Milt, we were looking at these guys and saying, this is dedication in the CFL.
Hey, the Calgary Stampeders fans could learn something from this, huh?
Oh, man.
I mean,
we got to go there in a few weeks.
I mean,
Well, maybe they'll sell it out when we're there, huh?
Oh, Lord. In the rain.
Last 4 matchups between these two has been determined in the last 3 minutes. For Ottawa to get the victory, it's head coach Ryan Dinwiddie who needs to step in and set the tone. He's alongside our Brit Dork.
Coach, what is the challenge calling plays when you're dealing with moisture like this?
Yeah, just try to get the guys in athlete space, right? Get them in space. And, we got to get the run game going. We try to do some of our short yard stuff backfired on. So we'll spread it out a little bit.
What more do you want to see from your defense in this half?
Let's go get a turnover, right? We just got to stop the run, keep them in second long. I think when we're in second long, we got them off the field for the most part. So they're flying around making plays, but we got to make a play on defense, change the game.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
The 2025 Ottawa REDBLACKS lost their first 2 games on the way to a 1-6 start. And here in 2026, 5 of their first 7 are at home. And their first 2 games right here at TD Place against the only other teams in the CFL last year that failed to reach double-digit wins. Edmonton, and then 2 weeks' time, after a bye week next week, they face the Toronto Argonauts, Dinwiddie's old team.
Yeah, and the Elks were 2-0 against Ottawa last season. The big thing, Ryan just talked about it, they have 3 turnovers offensively. They need to get some takeaways on defense to even off this turnover battle. And for the Elks, 11 penalties for over 100 yards, 107 yards in penalties. They have to clean up their penalty situation.
Isaiah Knight, the former UBC Thunderbird, takes the kickoff return out close to the 40-yard line, and Cody Fajardo It's the turf once again here for the second half of action.
Cody was 10 of 16, 116 yards passing. Both teams are taking these short underneath passes. He's had to use his legs at times because of some of the pass rush that's getting to him, but then he's got the opportunity. He has one explosive play on the outside, and then the touchdown to Austin Mack. So not a lot of explosive plays for either football team, but Cody's done a good job getting his completion rate up and high. They just got to make sure they get more opportunities with explosive plays.
Skylar Griffith in motion, fullback tight end. As they'll flip this one backwards. Javon Leake trying to get him a touch early on, but wonderful job flying out from Shakur Brown.
This is actually a run play once again. You're going to see two offensive linemen go ahead and roll it, guys. Two offensive linemen are pulling to the right, but he's going to take the screen on the outside. You have to, as a receiver, understand that the DBs are watching in the backfield, and you got to be ready to block. You got to be ready to block right now. Great effort by Shakur Brown coming up and making that stop. Goes backwards 4 yards. 2nd and 14 from the Elks. Own 19. Fajardo climbs the pocket, checks it down underneath, and finding some clear space. Running is Justin Rankin, and the explosion of Justin Rankin on full display to open up the second half. Cuts it back with 5 REDBLACKS, finally bringing him down to the turf. This is a check down all the way. You have 2nd and 14. Ottawa drops everybody into coverage, and they rush 4 people. What does Cody do? He's like, I don't have anybody to throw. I'm not going to turn it over, but I'm going to get it to Rankin. Then he makes one miss, makes a second miss. Great blocking on the inside by a couple of the receivers. And then he starts getting enough space to continue to create another explosive play. So check downs, he turned 6 yards into 60 yards.
They went 63 big ones.
How about that? I knew it was 60 yards.
For Justin Rankin.
That's just a term I use, 6 to 60.
But inside handoff goes nowhere on first down here. But in all reality, he says he wants to go 1,000 and 1,000. Well, you rip off a 60-yarder once a game. That's not unrealistic for Justin Rankin to do something special. As you see, yards from scrimmage last season, and there's a reason why he was in the CFL top 50 on the CFL and TSN. 15th was Rankin. 3rd running back in that list. Brady Oliveira ranked 7th, and Dedrick Mills, you see there, ranked at 11th.
I just love his ability to run the ball inside, in between the tackles. He's also got the ability to catch the ball, as we've seen, and he is just so explosive when he gets the second one.
Javon Leake in here to spell Justin Rankin after his big explosive play. This pass complete. Drop in the shoulder, just shy of the sticks by a yard or 2 is Keon Julian Grant.
Once again, Cody's going to have what's called double outs, 2 outs. He's going to take the softness in the zone, but because it's 2nd and long, you're going to get this completion every time, but Shakur Brown's in a position where he's outside leverage. He sees it. He knows that's where the quarterback wants to throw the ball, so he rallies up, leaves his receiver to make this play, so they prevent the first down, but give them a little bit better opportunity for the field.
3rd and 2 deep inside Ottawa territory, but the Elks elect to go with the field goal, and Blanchard with a flag flying at the end of the play. Field goal is good for now. Andre Cruz sorting through the side effects at the end of this one. Regardless, Mark Killam is a fan.
Permitting against Ottawa number 95. This is a 10-yard penalty that will result in a first down for Edmonton.
It's hard to see whether we have an angle on it. What pyramiding is, you're not allowed to use any part of somebody else's body. Okay, let's see if I got on the left. I think it's right here on the left side of the screen. You're not allowed to use any other person's body or the defenders to try to jump up and extend yourself to make a play on the block.
Oh, big call right there as Baldonado has it go against him. And so Edmonton's offense to the outside at Cephas and pushed into bounds at the 5-yard line. So it'll be 2nd and goal from the 5, and Fajardo last year in situations like this, watching from the sideline. Now 2nd and goal from the 5. He's just licking his chops to go and score another touchdown.
Again, one of the reasons 73% completion last season because of these throws the ball immediately, gets the ball out of his hand, helps your offensive line, but he put in athletes in space. C.J. Rivas, really good job running the ball, running down, following and chasing the football.
Fajardo came into tonight looking for his 50th win as a starter, but also 3 short of 100 career touchdown passes. He's got one. Can he find another? Sets his feet, throws to the back of the end zone. On Julian Grant. Incomplete. Very nearly had career touchdown pass. 98.
Bennett Williams with a really good play here. So as we motion down, this is going to be what's called a diagonal route. As you follow, we'll follow Julian Grant across the field, and he's going over the top of Bennett Williams and trying to find space. Bennett Williams sees that, throws that big paw up at the end to make the play, as the Elks can't capitalize and have to kick a field goal.
Chard knocks it through just as he did. No pyramiding call here, and so after all of that, same result just a few snaps later. And an Edmonton offense that has had the fewest offensive snaps in 3 of the last 4 seasons, holding their own here tonight in their season opener. Tried the back shoulder on KJG and just couldn't hang on from the coverage of Bennett Williams. In his career against the Edmonton Elks and looking to break that 500 record by getting the victory here tonight. What are your thoughts on his game so far, Lapo?
Yeah, you know, high completion percentage, but it's only 90 yards because they've been in a lot of long yardage situations, and the Elks are playing zone. He has to check it down. So, you know, he tried to push. He got this one big one right before the half, but they got to start increasing, getting good down in distances and take some shots on 1st down and try to get behind the defense in some way, shape, or form.
Americans did it his hand quick. Geno Lewis makes the grab, but Cordell Jackson all over it.
And these are good calls. Screen passes you'd like to get, but Cordell Jackson recognized it. The blocking's not on the perimeter. Now Jake, we trot Jake back out and say, all right, Jake, it's 2nd and 12 now. And now everybody's going to drop off and play zone, and it's going to be difficult to convert. And like the same thing just happened to Cody Fajardo. What happened? The most explosive player in the CFL made 2 people miss and turned into a 60-yard play. So this is what's difficult for the Red Blacks this first half, this game so far.
5-man rush and a hit on Jake Maris. He has to get rid of it early, trying to find the comeback route on the sideline for Geno Lewis. Incomplete due to the pressure. Good to see him back on the field. You heard Kate talking about that in the first half. Nick Anderson applying it.
Yeah, you got a little Nick Anderson. It's a little bit of a twist. You're going to see this, and then Nick Anderson's going to come around here. And once again, you're trying to move offensive linemen out of spaces. Pretty good pickup by the backs, but it's happening fast. He has to get the ball out of his hand. Anderson is coming in a bad mood, and he can knock people back into the quarterback's leg.
High wobbling boot. Drops down to the 29-yard line. Javon Leak makes the first man miss and then heads down the sideline, turns on the Jets, cuts back against the punter, and is finally tackled by Brian Cole II. Effective return for Javon Leak. Nothing new from 22. J.C. Sherritt, in his 2nd year as the DC in Edmonton, gets the stop with the pressure, and Javon Leak turns it into instant offense for Edmonton. Down about an hour before kickoff. We're all looking at each other, the panel, and Lapo, myself, our stats guy Johnny Perlberg, everyone's going, it's a ranking game, right? It's got to be a ranking game, no doubt.
Not a lot of yards rushing. He's got 20 yard rushing, but he's the leading receiver on the team. 3 catches, 88 yards, an average at 29 per catch. Obviously, the big explosive check down that he took for 60. You know, I talked about you need a better productivity of your wideouts because you can't have your 3rd most yards come from your running back. What do I know? Good Lord.
It just depends how you want to build your team. Is this one breaking free through the secondary? Keon Julian Grant, the leader last year. To your point, Lapo, he only had 820 yards receiving, but he was the leader, and he tacks on 25 here.
So this is a zone read where as they bend down, Cody pulls it on the outside. They have a little bit of flood route. They expand with the outside one, and they open up the Keon Julian Grant on the inside. This is what Cody Fajardo loves. This is what he talked about wanting more in his system this season. More what's called the Sally Rand or the naked play actions off the run game.
Fajardo into a rhythm, commanding the line of scrimmage right now for the Elks. The starter from week 1, unlike last year, as he sends this one into the turf, trying to screen it out the back door for Skylar Griffith.
Way to stay home by Bennett Williams. You know, heavy play action, trying to show it's a run play, then leak the fullback out. On a screen pass, Bennett Williams is right there to recognize it and forces Cody to throw it away. So good job by second-year player from Oregon.
Skylar Griffith, by the way, 38 special teams tackles in his career at UBC. You just know he's going back to the sideline, kicking himself. Oh, man, that was my play. That was the one they schemed up.
You don't get many of them with the fullback.
Elks offensive line digs in, rebuilt through free agency in the offseason for moments like this. 2nd and 10. They pick up the blitz, Fajardo, and sends it low into the feet. That's TJ Luther, the intended receiver on the play. So the field goal unit comes out once again.
A little bit of pressure off the front side edge. Pretty good protection. Trying to throw the post in the middle of the field. Cody trusts it. Just gets away from him. Could have been a touchdown if he could locate it. Just kind of misses the throw to TJ Luther. You can see he's upset about it. He's got a good, you know, that's what you have to make when you're in games like this. When we protect everything for you, you've got to make that throw when the guy's open.
The field goal is good. We've talked so much about Justin Rankin rushing, receiving, explosive plays. Blitz pickup that time. Excellent as well. But Fajardo off the mark. So the double E, they settle for another upright splitter from Vincent Blanchard. 19-10 Elks halfway through the third. 3 Eastern, 1 Mountain. Catch both games live on TSN, CTV, and Crave. Playing against Mexico in Mexico City. I'm sure that'll be easy. It'll be straightforward as this. A big burst out of the backfield from Daniel Adebaboye, continuing his stellar night. Was supposed to be splitting reps with Elijah Collins, but continues to rip off chunk after chunk, this time 30 yards for Adebaboye.
Outside zone plays. What you're trying to do is stretch the defense and find a crease for Daniel. You widen the defensive end. He jumps inside. Really good push by the O-line. The receiver's blocking downfield. Huge, big, explosive run for the Red Blacks. Daniel's excellent at running these outside zone plays because he has the patience and the ability to make one cut.
Quickly to the line of scrimmage they go as Jared Brinkman stepping in, try to limit the damage, and goes kind of without saying, but you know, kind of under the radar at the same time. Giordano Vaccaro in here at that right guard spot. You know, we talked about him in the first half, and we're seeing Adebaboye going 15 to the left, 14 to the right, 30 to the left, 22 to the right. And you got your first overall draft pick playing in there at right guard.
You know, and there's some injuries to Zach Pelios, who was a first pick overall a couple of years ago, and that allowed Vaccaro to get enough reps for them to say, hey, like, we love both guys, but we're going to give Gio the opportunity.
This time Adebaboye has to try and pass protect, and he might have whiffed a little bit. The pressure came right through the middle. Looked like it might have been Malik Carney ripping around the edge as he and Martez Ivey continue their.
The pressure happens because of what Nick Anderson does. Watch Nick Anderson. It looks like he's going to blitz, but what's he do? He drops out, and then he puts his hands up when just about Jake's about to throw the football, and that's why he pulled the ball down and all that pressure showed up, because he was about to hit the crossing route, but Nick Anderson left the line of scrimmage and got right in the throwing lane.
Brad Lowther out to attempt. Edmonton, by the way, quarterback sacks produced in 2025. They were tied for 7th with 24. Just one ahead of Winnipeg, who was in last spot with 23. As whistles sound here before the kick goes through. Brett Lowther's asking, oh no.
Number 33.
And they'll back this one up. The field goal is not good despite going through the uprights.
A little bit of wind in their face.
5-yard penalty.
See if they continue to do it.
Elks pass rush.
Difficult penalty here.
Yeah, spicier than it has been in previous years, but I got a feeling Ryan Dinwiddie might be a little hot under the collar on that one as well. Time count on a field goal that takes points off the board.
Forces a punt.
And the punting unit That all changing next year with the distance of field goals being altered by the movement of the uprights. And Javon Leake lets this one roll in and through the end zone. And out the other side is Leake celebrating his response. And special teams coordinator Jeff Reinbold not happy with the delay at the line of scrimmage.
Getting another look at Cody Fajardo in an Edmonton Elks jersey, and it almost wasn't. He said he actually pondered hanging it up for good and calling it quits on his CFL career. Had plenty of conversations with his wife about it, and then he went to the organization and had great conversations with their GM and their head coach, and he really liked the direction that Edmonton was heading, and he felt like I couldn't hang him up and leave it on a season where we didn't make the playoffs. I still feel like I have lots left in me. So he wanted to come back. And he also said, don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean this season is the farewell Cody Fajardo tour. Said I'm going to take it game by game and year by year. So still can see lots of Cody Fajardo, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And he also, was somebody that went into the offseason saying, what are we going to do? And they said, well, we're going to go and get a bunch of offensive linemen. We're going to protect you better. We're going to get Austin Mack.
I'm going to say a little bit like, hey, I'm not sure if I'm coming back. Or you know what brings him back? Starting quarterback salary in the Canadian Football League. That's what keeps him employed, saying, I'm going to come back and keep playing. Come on.
Toss to the outside here. Maybe this guy kept him coming back as well. Justin Rankin, knowing he had a talent like this. Out to the Edmonton 54-yard line, and Rankin continues to rack it up.
Let me show you what Rankin can do and why it's difficult. The toss play is going to go this way, and you're not trying to reach people. You're trying to stretch and then take it north-south. As everybody's running to the sideline, waiting for Rankin to go make a play, they block down, pull around, and create the space because everybody's running to the sideline. It's what you call a pin and pull scheme. You separate the defense and you get everybody running, and then he gets up in north-south, the space he needed to get a big run.
6 offensive linemen in here for the Elks. They do that more than anybody in the Canadian Football League last year. It's play action, flip it out. TJ Luther makes the grab, goes for a gain of 7 or 8. As Justin Rankin, elusive as ever. This is 2025, and you see where he ranks, making people miss, and also averaging the highest amount of yards before contact last season, because there was a lot of movement on that front. Trying to road grade for him, but as soon as anybody got into threatening to tackle, he has the ability to dance away. You've seen it all night. Austin Mack splits to the top of your screen. Now motions back down in. And Fajardo throws to the right. Brendan O'Leary orange, and they decide to throw it on 2nd and short. It pays off. First down, Edmonton.
Brendan O'Leary orange, very intelligent, very smart, understanding what's happening, because you're going to see a pressure off this edge. O'Leary orange isn't in the screen yet, but he's going to show up and he's going to replace the blitzer. Cody sees it immediately, throws the ball before the linebacker can get there, CJ Rivas. So that's good instincts on a veteran receiver, sitting down in the zone and being ready for his quarterback while the blitz is happening.
Fajardo 9-1 career against the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Hands it off to Justin Rankin here. Niles Morgan, been a little bit since we've said his name, but got a feeling #1.
Nice tackle.
REDBLACKS uniform, never going to be far from the football this season.
As a coach, you always talk about, go back to Rankin and talk about this. You talk to your scouts like, hey, I want a tailback who's patient on inside zone because we run so much inside zone. I want a tailback who can catch the ball. I want a tailback who can protect. Oh, and by the way, I want this guy to be able to be explosive and run with the football and get big yardage. That doesn't happen often.
No.
This kid can do all of those things. That's why he's so special.
Fajardo over the middle of the field, up for grabs, Austin Mack. And CJ Rivas, equal opportunity at the football.
Take a look. Okay, watch Rankin right here. There's a little bit of pressure I just talked about. Can he recognize? Can he pick up blitzes?
Illegal block.
Watch him come across the field.
Edmonton number 57.
Get a piece of Bennett. All he has to do is when
will be 3rd down.
When he comes across the formation, that tells the quarterback, I'm protected. More important that he shows up right now. Wasn't the best blocking one, but he knew where to go. Got a piece of it so Cody could get the ball out of his hands.
Jay Rivas all over that on the back end. Forces the incompletion. Austin Mack talks it over with Fajardo. As the 2023 Grey Cup MVP, Fajardo takes a seat and looks it over. Meanwhile, Jake Julian, originally taken by the Ottawa REDBLACKS in the 2021 CFL Canadian draft, but in Edmonton green and gold for all 4 years, and Khalil Pimpleton spins away from contact and steps out of bounds. Finally pushed out by Justin Pace, the young rookie drafted this year out of Queen's University. And there is Alfie, Daniel Alfredson, who I was told I looked like a young version of when I was in high school, and he was the man for the Ottawa Senators as assistant coach with the Sens now. And on the sidelines, noticed earlier here this evening at TD Place, taking in the REDBLACKS action in their home opener.
Great to see him here, supporting the REDBLACKS.
Yeah, say that the Alfie versus Sundin era.
Nice, yes.
In Ontario hockey.
I believe he's talking with Jerry Townend, who's the new Director of Medical Services here for the REDBLACKS, who is a long-time Senators
legend.
Athletic trainer.
Great to see him on the sidelines here this evening.
And this has been the struggle for this REDBLACKS team. Is, you know, once again they're facing a second and long. They're incomplete on first down, forcing second and long. Now going to push them into a big zone coverage probably, and then the offensive line is going to hold up on a long yardage passing situation.
Dinwiddie taking over a club that has its 7th different week 1 starting quarterback through the last 8 seasons. Much of that out of his control, but Jake Maier the choice, and Maier has it knocked away by Kenneth Logan Jr., second year out of Kansas.
More pressure coming. One rusher, second rusher. Kenneth Logan is going to be the free rusher. One of these defenders is going to drop out into zone, but Kenneth Logan is free. Jake's trying to throw through it. He's got to move his arm angle because he ends up throwing. Kenneth Logan's right there to knock the ball down.
Well, Noah Getman hammered this one down to the 10-yard line, and somehow Javon Leake with a 16-yard return after a 61-yard punt. And Jake Maier in the third quarter, as I said, the 7th different starter for the last 8 seasons for the REDBLACKS, and he's 1 of 5 for -1 yard in this third quarter since coming out of the halftime break. And well, unfortunately, there's a lot of similarities here. If you want to play the match game, you can go Harris. I see an Arbuckle on a couple of those.
Well, I was in for a couple of these, Matt Nichols, Jeremiah Masoli in my time there. And both these organizations have not been to, you know, have kind of struggled with playoff appearances. It's because of how much change at the quarterback position they've both had. 7 quarterbacks in 8 years for the REDBLACKS, 6 and 7 for the Elks. Week 1 starters.
Solidify things with Fajardo and Jake Maier at this point, and Drew Brown watching on from the sidelines here this evening. Also thought it was interesting as I made my way into the stadium about 3 hours before kickoff today that it was actually Taylor Powell, who's the new backup for the Edmonton Elks, just sitting having a nice conversation with Drew Brown on the benches before. And you imagine that conversation for both of them is kind of like, yeah, this is what it is, man. But at the same time, that was Jake Maier a year ago in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and you know, Taylor Powell was somebody that the Elks went out and said, hey, we want somebody that we can possibly be the future with Cody Fajardo. They really liked what they saw from him in Hamilton. They were able to go out and recruit him to be part of the organization.
Play clock low, but Fajardo got it off and away as TJ Luther hacked down as the corner flies up. Demario Houston takes away the legs of Luther. That is it for 3 quarters of play as the Elks opportunistic defense trying to take advantage of opportunities Ottawa's given them. But the REDBLACKS fighting in. We got a 9-point ball game headed to the 4th quarter to round out week 1 in the Canadian Football League. Quarters of play here in the nation's capital as you see 237 passing yards for Cody Fajardo as he is the week 1 starter for the Edmonton Elks. And as I said, going to break the opportunistic defense of the Edmonton Elks with Ottawa serving it up for them. 3 turnovers at that point. That was interesting this week. Ryan Dinwiddie said, if you take what they give you, eventually they'll let you take the game. Well, it feels like Ottawa in this 4th quarter lap was going to have to go and get it.
Yeah, they're going to, like he talked about at halftime, we got to get some takeaways because we've already had 3 turnovers. The problem is the Elks were the best team in the Canadian Football League at not turning the ball over last season. So, you know, Cody knows where to go with the football. He's getting the ball out of his hands quickly. So it's making it difficult for the REDBLACKS to get some of those takeaways they need to create a short field.
Again, all the talk about the quarterback decision with Jake Maier being named the Week 1 starter. And he did say this week in the fourth quarter, when the intensity rises, I hope the Red Blacks fans will see someone who keeps his poise. I don't doubt that Jake Maier is going to keep his poise, extremely self-aware. But will he be able to light a fire under this offense when they need it the most, down 9, to start the fourth quarter? He'll watch as Cody Fajardo and those 237 passing yards go to work on 1st and 10. Cody adds to it. And a flag flies in well in the defensive backfield, but looks like wrapped up high around the helmet and face mask area.
Little hitch from the number 2 receiver coming underneath.
Major foul. Unnecessary roughness. Ottawa number 6. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play.
So DeMario Houston has to understand this rule. A receiver is in a defenseless position where he can't see the hit. You're not allowed to go below the knees. So that's what this was a rule change last season, where you have a low player, a player's defenseless, he can't see, and then you go through his legs and below his knees. That's going to be a penalty every time. Once again, a player's safety. And this is the hard part for Cody Fajardo. High completions, putting you in good situations. Then a penalty ensues. First down, almost in field goal range.
Red Blacks D-line digs in. Handoff. Justin Rankin bounces it to the right-hand side. Excellent open field tackle.
Bennett Williams, excellent.
That's one of the most elusive guys we talked about. Missed tackles earlier on in this ballgame with Rankin, and not going anywhere with Bennett Williams here.
Yep, Rankin just following the big offensive lineman as they pull 2 linemen to the field on a counter play. Splits the defense, gets north-south.
Second down and 6. Fajardo, hard count, resets at the line of scrimmage. Like Ottawa kept the play on that they had, and now Cody, quick game, complete underneath. Brendan O'Leary, orange, short of the sticks. 3rd down.
Just understanding coverage and structure before. That's a low player. There's nobody in this space. And what do they have? They're going to have a receiver running a little hitch in that space. And now you play the 2-on-1. There's a horizontal stretch right there. O'Leary orange, or the throw the outside, takes the underneath throw. It's just not deep enough to get them the first down.
Field goal, or no, the punt unit, sorry, in a bit of a hurry up here as the play clock rolling down. 3rd and medium, they elect to send the football back. Will Pimpleton well inside his own 5-yard line, and excellent coverage from the Elks and their special teams unit that last year was run by Mark Killam. This year, Des Cotillier taking over much of those responsibilities as Ryan Dinwiddie digs.
Duggan here on 3rd and 1, turnover on 3rd and 1, which leads to this. We're not going to go with a quarterback sneak. 3rd and 1 again. They go deep, shotgun snap, not a first down. Isaiah Collins with a fumble, and then a time count on a field goal that went in that forced them to punt. These are the miscues that have put the Red Blacks in a difficult position and down 9 points.
Even their own end here. Little by little, little makes a lot. It's got to be the ideology on a drive like this with 12.5 remaining in the fourth quarter, trailing by 9. It's Aiden Eberhardt. Slow start to this week number 1 for him. A couple of penalties, not much offensive production, but settling underneath for the completion.
Yeah, 41 catches last year for Aiden Eberhardt, 639 yards, 2 TDs out of BC. Bigger receiver. Could he be a good free agent signing for them that somebody can create some explosive plays?
There with pressure on, gets away from it originally, and now brought down to the turf as the Elks pass rush is said only had 24 sacks all of last year, but Noah Curtis, the Canadian, finally brings Maier down.
Noah Curtis missed a lot of last season. You see here, right here, second from the top, I believe, will be the first in to create the havoc. They do bring a linebacker. And then there's pressure off the edge by both defensive ends. Jake can't find the throw on the outside.
Very nearly blocked. It takes a Red Blacks bounce, and Javon Leake spinning the wheels and trying to get some speed going the other direction. Thrown down just shy of the 50. As the Edmonton offense gets the football back. Noah Curtis.
The knee is back. This last season.
The knee is back, yeah. We can tell it's in full mobility mode. Great to see players coming back, getting healthy. Which, by the way, Darian Newell, disappointing to see him get injured in training camp for the Elks on that defensive line at Queen's University. Will now miss what looks like the first 2 seasons of his time in the league. Is Justin Rankin making every single ounce of excitement possible squeezed out of this Edmonton offense. Touchdown, Justin Rankin. 61 yards to the end zone.
Pulling lineman, he's going to try to get up inside. And again, the defenders are there. You have people there. Allen is right there, misses the tackle. C.J. Revis can't bring him down because of the speed, and then it turns into a foot race, and he's not going to miss many of those. He's not going to lose many of those. So 2 missed tackles against one of the best, most dynamic players in the Canadian Football League. Justin Rankin leads to another explosive touchdown for him.
Last night, specifically the first half, Calgary-Winnipeg. Dedrick Mills against Brady Oliveira. Felt like we were watching the 2 top backs in the CFL go punch for punch. I think Justin Rankin is going to have something to say about that conversation all season long. Opening statement confirmed. Tags another one on as he's got 2 60-yard plays in this ball game. 63 yards earlier, and this 61-yard touchdown spinning away from initial contact. And as I say, the best running back in the CFL conversation, it might not just be about rushing yards the way this guy is playing in week 1.
Yeah, and you know, when you talk about that 1,000, he's certainly showing up tonight, being able to do it. And it's on simple plays. Checkdowns, making people miss. Has a guy dead to the, A.J. Allen has him dead to rights in a hole, can't make the tackle because he spins out of it. Dynamic player. Just keep feeding him the football, protect the football with Cody Fajardo, you'll win a lot of football games. How better they've gotten defensively than they were 1 year ago.
Yeah, absolutely. As Khalil Pimpleton returns this one down the sideline, it has been a fantasy night for Justin Rankin, and if you have him, you've probably been smiling ear to ear in CFL fantasy.
12 touches, 196 yards, and a touchdown. So whoever, picked him up, good decision.
How much is it going to cost moving forward, though? I mean, you're basically getting a receiver and a running back.
You know, and you can win a lot of football games. Cody Fajardo protecting football, getting him the ball and getting takeaways like this Elks defense has tonight.
Jake Mayer completes this one to Geno Lewis, and for Jake Mayer, it's all about just trying to create first downs at this point, right? Try to give yourself an opportunity down the stretch, down by 16 points, but you can't get 16 in one play.
Yeah, they're going to go no huddle now, and they're going to try to call their on the line of scrimmage stuff and put them in a position to be able to get some points on the board.
Yeah, Daniel Adebaboye churning the legs as he's been doing all night into Edmonton territory. It's a first down. And there is an injured Elk taking a knee just for a moment in behind the play. Looked like
Jordan Williams.
Yeah, big defensive lineman Jordan Williams needing some attention from the medical staff, and so they will tend to him. Edmonton defense sorting out exactly what style they want to take on with J.C. Sherritt as they bring back a lot of players, decent amount of continuity. Joel DeBlanco getting a good opportunity last year with having the absence for a decent period of time with Nick Anderson. Pass rush upgraded. Malik Carney, seen him earlier on tonight. Cordell Jackson into his second year. Same with Kenneth Logan. J.J. Ross on the corner. It's a good unit. Could be a big part of the Elks bouncing back this season is Eberhardt on the receiving end. Cordell Jackson the closest, but Aiden Eberhardt coming to life here in this second half.
Takes a seam pass. What's a seam pass? Right down the hash mark, in between a zone area. Aiden Eberhardt's big target. You just throw it up to a spot, let him come down, make the play.
There, quick game, incomplete. Don't see that very often from Justin Hardy. Haven't said his name in a little bit as well. Not used to that.
We'll drop on the hitch pass. Just in and out of his hands. Didn't see it clean into his hands.
Came into tonight thinking maybe Justin Hardy was going to have a massive night because he was watching fellow Eastern Carolina alum Tyler Snead go crazy for the Alouettes on Thursday, and he was going to say, oh yeah? Well,
1,000 yards last year. 8th in the Canadian Football League for Justin.
Bail out of pressure does Edmonton, forcing the throw underneath, incomplete. Will Pimpleton with Noah Taylor there in coverage.
And that's, I think, what this Elks defense under J.C. Sherritt's getting much better at. Too many explosive plays last season defensively, whether they're in man or zone. Much better in their zone coverage. I think it's also the pass rush for this Elks defense this season.
Challenge coming here from the Red Blacks.
Ottawa's challenging the previous play for defensive pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
I don't think Ryan Dinwiddie asked anybody whether or not he should throw the flag on this one. I'm the head coach and general manager. I'm standing on the field. My team is down by 16 points. I saw it with my own eyes. I'm ripping this thing. And the red flag hits the turf. We'll have the review when we return the answer. Interference challenge from Ryan Dinwiddie. Thought that there was contact early before the football got there, interfering with Khalil Pimpleton from Noah Taylor. And Andre Proulx has the announcement.
Upon review by the replay center, the ruling on the field stands. It will be third down. Ottawa's charge a timeout, and they're now out of challenge.
Nice play by Noah Taylor here. You know, like third-year player. He can play a lot of spots in this defense. I've enjoyed watching Noah Taylor. North Carolina player, and can play in space, but also can rush the passer and do really good things.
It's a big body, right?
Yeah. To be dropping into coverage and covering backs.
Yeah. Multiple layers all over the place. Brett Lowther made from 35 earlier on. And this one through the uprights as well. Not the desired results for the Red Blacks drive, but points on the board nonetheless with 8:11 remaining. Roland Garros continues tomorrow with the men's final, 9 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Mountain, right here on TSN. You ever play on a clay court?
I've never.
I've always wanted to.
Yeah?
I grew up watching Nadal sliding around and ripping lefty backhands. I'm a hardcourt guy by heart.
Hardcourt?
But not by choice.
Are you a pickleball guy?
I've heard the ACL tear rate way too high for pickleball. A little scary. Inside handoff. The Elks go back to the ground game. Expect them to continue pounding it.
You're going to get a lot of this now. Yep. Just keep running, pounding the ball inside. Go inside run, try to create some space.
Well, we've mentioned some of the upgrades and some of the changes to the offensive line. Mark Cordy goes to the sideline there because he was in with a 6 offensive lineman set. And Edmonton last year, 41% of the time, they were in 6 offensive linemen. When Tommy Condell was here in Ottawa as the offensive coordinator, now in Winnipeg, Red Blacks ran that 6 offensive linemen just 7% of the time. So, you know, most versus least from last season, obviously changing with Dinwiddie, but Edmonton, bread and butter is bringing the extra bodies. As this one completed, flag flies as well. But I bring this up, Lapo, because in training camp, it was a conversation of, well, the Elks have way too many offensive linemen, right? They got to cut somebody. They got to cut 2 guys. They can't keep everybody. You're paying them too much money. Well, depends how you want to build your roster, right?
Face mask. Ottawa, 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Yeah, that offensive line, you know, obviously they brought a couple of guys in, like Jordan Murray, Brendan Gordon from Hamilton. Carter O'Donnell was a huge signing for them last year. And then, you know, David Beard, Mark Cordy, like Mark Cordy started in this league in a number of spots. So you have him as your 6 with David Beard. Coulter Woodmansey makes a good group, and then that's what they want to do. They want to be physical up front. They want to hand it to Justin Rankin. They want to protect Cody. So money well spent, Marshall, right?
Absolutely. Inside handoff here, short game. A moment of appreciation as well for Mark Cordy, as I mentioned earlier. In 2023, he played 100% of their snaps, 930. 2024, he played over 1,000 snaps. That was 100%. 2025, he played, you guessed it, 100% of their snaps, 952. He also played 879 snaps in 2022. Those are all big numbers. He entered today playing 3,798 consecutive snaps for Edmonton. Didn't get the start. The last time he missed a snap for Edmonton since signing there was for his own wedding. It was in week 2 back in 2022. And by the way, yes, he did play 100% of the snaps in week 1 of that year as well. The point I'm making is when you can have your 6th offensive lineman be a guy who's played over 3,700 consecutive snaps as a starter for your team, that shows you the talent and the depth that you have as he comes back into the game here.
As Cody just takes this, you know, 2nd and medium, he gets an opportunity to just throw a hitch, find the open part of the zone, get the ball out of his hands. He's going to see this before the ball snapped, and just take the ball, give to Keon Julian Grant for the fall forward for the first time.
Big bodies in once again. Edmonton shows run, gives run. It's Javon Leake. Good job by the Ottawa front this time. Like Wakefield Jr. right in the middle. Somehow Bennett Williams has been in on just about everything tonight. Doesn't matter where it is on the field.
As you bring those extra offensive linemen in, you're going to have to force the defensive backs to play inside the box. You can see the 2 extra offensive linemen in the game. Now you bring a receiver in. You just keep packing more bodies in. Well, that means the DBs are going to now have to show up and start playing closer to the box. You're doing that to create longer edges, and you're trying to make sure that nobody can beat you if they rush, if they blitz more people than you can protect in the run.
Coulter Woodmansey down on the turf, getting looked over by the training staff. As you see, I mentioned Des Cotillier staying there next to Mark Killam. And Cotillier is kind of taken on the special teams responsibilities for this Elks group. And obviously Mark Killam, well known for people across the CFL as being Calgary's special teams coordinator, coming up and leading that in his first year. But in the second year, saying, no, I trust Des. He can do this.
Yeah, I gave Des, you know, last year he said he wanted my voice. He was involved in a lot more of the special teams. This year, gave it over to Des. They've been together a couple of seasons now, and he's got a lot of respect for what Des has done with this special teams unit.
Need to see that for Coulter Woodmansey in his first game for the Double E here. As he gingerly makes his way to the sidelines. And we get a look at likely getting rolled up on, as we said, with all of this big bodies up front. Lapo, there's inevitability that the odd time there's going to be bodies that roll up into you.
You can see right on the left part of your screen. And again, that's one of the reasons usually your offensive linemen, all your offensive linemen, whether they've ever had a knee injury or not, you put knee braces on. You want them all wearing knee braces, just because sometimes you're going to have your feet up and somebody's going to run into you and knock you down.
I hope to see Woodmansey back on his feet for the next Elks game, which is week 3, with both these clubs having a bye week in week number 2.
Well, we had a weird play right there. I thought it could have been an offsides, but then we had Mark Cordy's helmet came off.
Second time Cordy's lost his bucket tonight.
Yeah, and then when your helmet, if you take a look at the center right here, okay, take a look as we start, okay, as he's going, there's a hands to the face. Yep. The helmet comes off. He can't play football once the helmet comes there, and that probably should be a penalty on the Red Blacks. That's that's a dangerous position to be able to put the hands to the face defensively.
65 puts the lid back on, snaps up the chin strap, and help protect on the field goal attempt from Vincent Blanchard. And it is good. Money. As flags come out at the end of the play. Official was watching on with a little battle in behind the field goal attempt. The veteran Jeff Reinbold on one side, youngster Descatelier running Edmonton special teams. Interesting matchup of experience and youth.
After the play was over, after the field goal was good, major foul, unnecessary roughness against Edmonton number 92. 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the next point of scrimmage.
Week 2 kicks off with Thursday night football. Lapo and I are going to the Strevler retirement tailgate.
Yes.
Hamilton paying a visit.
Got your fur coat, Marshall?
To the Manitoba capital. I live in one. Ticats and Bombers, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain on TSN. Looking forward to seeing the Tiger Cats trying to rebound from their home opener loss.
Big win for Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Good drive at the end of the game.
Which, by the way, at the start of last year was the home teams that were dominant to kick off the 2025 season. And road clubs on a roll getting things going this season. Is this one dropped in the bucket from Jake Mayer to Gino Lewis. Vintage 87 down the sideline, but what a throw, the timing and the release from Mayer.
Trusting. Usually some of these cornerbacks aren't going to back up when you have a go ball. What I mean is a run by the outside. They get caught looking in the backfield. Terrell Ford thinks it's going to be one of the underneath throws. The lower he is, the more the quarterback thinks about, I'm taking the shot to Gino Lewis. Great throw by Jake Mayer. Pretty picture.
Mayer with 5 options here. Goes to the 6th, checks it down. Adebaboye tries to cut back and make a man miss. Adebaboye couldn't get away.
Good read. Joel DeBlanco is you're always trying to put zone defenders in a bind. You'll see a little wrap here and then the back in the flat. And you just throw opposite. DeBlanco stays inside. I throw outside to create a little bit of space. Nice throw. Take it underneath.
There, 2nd and 7. Looks to the right side. Rips this one. And just not quite on the same page. Justin Hardy. As we hit the 3-minute warning, Edmonton in control. Missed the Grey Cup playoffs for 5 seasons straight, but here headed to 1-0 in 20 at the helm. The vision of Ed Hervey acquiring talent as well, and they believe that they are on the upswing. And the question becomes at this point, Lapo, all right, yeah, Edmonton gets better. How much better do you have to get for Mark Killam to take this club and be better than a Winnipeg, a Calgary, right? Because I think a lot of people believe that BC is going to be there, Sask is going to be there. That's the challenge in front of Edmonton. Look like they're headed to 1-0 right now. Is into the end zone. Jake Mayer to Justin Hardy.
Adebaboye, watch him pick up the blitzer. As the blitzer comes in, bang. Shoulders square, take it on at the line of scrimmage. Don't take it on at the quarterback's feet to give your quarterback the opportunity to throw the dig. You want to throw digs when linebackers vacate the middle of the field. First rule of a quarterback, throw the dig when the linebacker vacates, but great pickup by Adebaboye.
Second cookie cut. Now going for 2, Keelan White. And he got it. It's a one-score game with 2:54. Oh, I forgot the CFL. No lead is safe. Great job by the Red Blacks offense. Solid drive. Top end plays into the end zone. And
early in the game, they tried to make this throw in the middle of the field. You'll see it again in the middle of the field. When safeties vacate the middle of the field, the quarterback is... Well, here's the first touchdown, not the 2-point. Just like I said, when the linebackers blitz, you want to throw the digs because there's nobody underneath that can get underneath it. Okay, so there's the first touchdown there. Okay, and now the convert. Anytime a safety's out of the middle of the field, what do? You find the post player, throw it right through the goalpost for the touchdown. Keelan White for the 2-point convert right there.
Good pitch and catch from Jake Mayer to Keelan White as well there. I mean, it looks basic, but what a great shot from our crew in the end zone there, where you see the eyes of Jake Mayer switching from 1 to 2 to 3, putting it in a spot that Keelan White could bend his route at the back of the end zone. And now Mark Killam, the intensity goes up on the Edmonton sideline.
Yeah, you had that graphic up about the Edmonton Elks missing a playoffs 5 season, and we've talked about it before. We believe it's one of the biggest reasons. 6 out of 7 different starters week 1 at the quarterback position. And, you know, Cody brings them the experience, understanding what wins football games, and they have some explosive backs, really good offensive line, and getting better defensively.
Von Leek turns from his 20 across the 30. Coverage there to bounce him out of bounds at the 35-yard line. So it's all about game management at this point for Cody Fajardo and the Edmonton Elks offense.
You know, 1 touchdown, right? 22 of 32, and he's going to have high completions. That's what been his whole career. The yardage sometimes not going to be big. A lot of that yardage is a 60 yards check down. So some of those numbers, but the big number, 0 turnovers.
Absolutely, protecting the football. Paramount to the Edmonton Elks opportunities. Justin Rankin in the backfield. As jump cut, and now Ottawa's defense all of a sudden brought to life. Michael Wakefield. A scuffle behind the play, but they'll
zone blitz and a pressure. You're going to see Bennett Williams. You're going to see a number of guys coming inside here. But Wakefield at the line of scrimmage. They make a mistake, block down, leave the A-gap player, the player over the center guard in a position where he can stop the quarterback's feet and go. Mistake in how they're blocking the play. You got to block level 1 guys first. Miscommunication on what they're trying to do.
Red Blacks front showing their true potential. Haven't seen much of it tonight with Rankin running wild as Fajardo looks to throw. Incomplete. Backwards 4 yards on first down. Incomplete on second. In a 1-score game. It's a 2-and-out.
Very conservative call here. Calling a hitch on 2nd and 15. Just trying to get a little bit better yardage. Didn't want to, you know, here you're in this long yardage situation because of the first yardage. That's the softest player you can throw. They've got 2 hitches with a corner out on the outside. Trying to get it, just misses.
Julian spirals Wilson down to the 20-yard line. Khalil Pimpleton with speed. Corrals at the 30, throws the brakes on, and admits defeat for the hosts of tacklers right there. Jake Mayer, chance to play hero in his first start in the nation's capital.
61% so far, 187 yards. The Elks have not given him only 1 explosive play right before the half. They've kept everything in front of them. He's going to need the same thing. You can check it down. Plenty of time left in this game. 8-point game. Get the touchdown. Get the 2-point. Doesn't need an explosive. Just needs to be good on 1st and 10.
29 years young for number 13. First opportunity to prove himself to our nation. Pressure comes. Mayer checks it down underneath. Begins with a completion to Daniel Adebaboye. That one going nowhere fast. Ryan Dinwiddie will now have to dig back into the play sheet and find some answers.
Really good pressure right up off the inside. Malik Carney gets it, beats the guard, comes inside, forces this quick throw, and J.J. Ross is right there to make the play on the check down.
There, looks left the whole way. Throws this one up for grabs and falls down to the ground as he lofted it. Incomplete. Total miscommunication, and Mayer's body language as he let that one go just screamed that he was totally not on the same page as the intended receiver, but it hits the turf regardless.
Yeah, there was a twist on the outside that I think he thought there was going to be a free player that was about to hit him, and I think he tried to throw the inside player on a seam, but the corner is going to fall off of the deep third, and then I think he's trying to throw one of these inside balls.
Regardless, the punt.
I think he's trying to throw that seam up there. He's got to see what that corner is doing. And you can't throw a block. You're better off. Can't put yourself in a position to throw that interception.
And the drop here for
He's
Tyrell
trying.
Ford.
He's trying. Holding on to it.
Oh, the pain.
Oh. Had an easy interception for the start of the season. Career high tackles last year, 56. He was the first extension the Edmonton Elks did last season. When you look at what happened,
telling.
Yes, that was the first extension for the entire organization.
Always telling. If the deal's done before Christmas, that team loves you.
Yes.
As this run stacked up. Good job by Baldonado coming over in free agency from Saskatchewan.
So this is what you got. You know, this is where you're playing your chess match. Like, you have to have some plays.
Ottawa.
Here. For the Elks, I know Justin Rankin is a really good player, but you have to have what you call runs that protect your core runs. Do you have a wrong way run? Do you have a reverse? Do you have something that isn't just putting the ball in Rankin's hand when the entire defense is waiting for it? You have to have something to, at this point in the game, you're down 8, you need to get a first down. I know you don't want to throw it. I know you want the clock to keep running, but you got to have something, whether it's a speed sweep, whether it's something, quarterback run, that the clock still runs, but you cannot be in a 2nd and 12 because now you're hurting your offense on 2nd and long.
I haven't mentioned him tonight, but offensive coordinator, assistant head coach Jordan McSimic, one of the great young minds in the CFL, dialing this in for Cody Fajardo as Cody looks to the left and sets it up for Rankin. Rankin on the run, trying to get to the 45, and a good job rallying from that Ottawa defense. They get the stop. Looks like C.J. Rivas was over to make the play.
Yeah, and you would have loved Rankin understand where he is on this side of the field. So it's a check down. They don't have anything like, they just check it down. Here, he should understand, as I'm going, just drop down right now so he doesn't go out of bounds. And then keep that clock running. Could have taken a ton more time off the clock.
92 seconds left to decide the final game of week 1 in the CFL. They came after the punt. Were they ever close to it? Pimpleton, free run here to get things going, and TK Bonhomme will get the special teams tackle in his 3rd year out of South Alabama. 2nd round draft pick for the Elks. Jake Mayer with another opportunity. This is how close it was on Jake Julian.
Oh, almost there. Right to the hands. You got to put your eyes, just like you're catching a football, you got to put your hands right at the spot, right at their eyes.
Aiden John closest to it. We saw for a brief second there our crew bringing you the shot of Dinwiddie while Edmonton had the football, reloading with Jake Mayer. You know, they spent that entire Edmonton possession talking over if and when we get it back. What are we running? Well, here's the answer. It's Mayer rolling to his left. Lots of options. Goes underneath. Eberhardt gets the first down and slides his way out of bounds around the 48-yard line.
Good scramble by Jake as the protection breaks down. Okay, a little quick protection, just jumps outside, finds Aiden Eberhardt for that underneath, and Aiden runs, tries his best to get out of bounds, but he doesn't.
We saw the effectiveness of the Red Blacks tempo game at the end of the first half. Well, we get to see it now with the game on the line. 65 seconds left, 8-point ball game. Back to Eberhardt they go with a pickup on first down.
You're seeing Jake right now. He's calling coded words. What does that mean? One word tells everybody what to do. Tells the protection, tells what the concept is. And as soon as the ball snapped in, they're going to go with a quick cadence.
Looks over the middle, freezes his feet, and up for grabs. Oh, it was almost intercepted. In the hands of Keelan White, into the hands of J.J. Ross. And the only result of that one is the turf.
Keelan White drops what is called the, you're not going to like this call, but this is called a jerk route, where you run, you stop, the linebacker waits, and then you take off and start running again. He had good positioning. He just didn't see the ball into his hands. J.J. Ross had a perfect opportunity to seal this game. But 3rd and 6, we'll see what happens here.
Ross had it on ice, but now Mayer tries to heat up. Quick release out of his hands, no call. And Dinwiddie doesn't have the challenge as he threw it earlier.
J.C. Sherritt really starting to trust his defense. 3rd and 6, what do? Okay, he's going to break inside, but everybody else is blitzing. This is what you call cover 0. There's nobody there. The free safety has to come down to make this play. Free safety, Jalen Garnes gets down there. Just goes through the hands. A couple of drops tonight by both teams here. Ryan's was hoping to get a pass interference, but no challenge left because of the earlier challenge.
So results in a turnover on downs. 4th turnover of the ball game for the Red Blacks, and right in the middle of the fray goes Justin Rankin.
So the ball should stay on the ground once again. You're not going to, right here with 46 seconds left, you run this, let this clock wind all the way down, run it once more, let the clock wind down once again, punt it, leave very little time, and walk out of here with a win.
Clock rolling.
A wet win.
Yeah, on the road. A season opener win for the Edmonton Elks as well. Those have been few and far between. The Red Blacks with a golden opportunity to get the ball rolling here in 2026. We'll have to wait, looks like, until week number 3 when the Toronto Argonauts come to town.
Now you've got 23 seconds left, so there's a couple of things you could also do. You could keep Cody out here, and you could do what you call victory pass, where the clock just started. You could call what's called victory pass, where you just throw it up and hopefully it takes the last 2 or 3 seconds off the clock, but it looks like they're going to use their timeout.
And Fajardo calls time as instructed by head coach Mark Killam.
Timeout, Edmonton.
7-11 last year for the Elks head coach in his first season with the Double E. By the way, that 5-year playoff absence from the playoffs, the longest run in club history. The next longest was 4 years, from 1962 to 1965. And this group dearly wants to put that conversation to an end. The last time Edmonton was in the playoffs, I noticed, by the way, on Thursday night when Brandon Banks got surprised by going into the
objectionable conduct on the Edmonton bench. This is a 10-yard penalty. It is still 3rd down.
The Elks backed up, clock stops for a second, but the last time the Elks were in the playoffs, I noticed in the Brandon Banks video montage, they used a clip from the 2019 East Final when Banks fell down and had that legendary touchdown catch, and I thought to myself coming into this game, last time the Elks made the playoffs, a guy who just went into the Hall of Fame. When you're getting used in video montages of Hall of Famers, you know it's been a while as they throw it backwards, kill the clock. Another completion, if you will, even though it won't count as that, from Fajardo to Austin Mack.
Running backwards to see the clocks go to zeros and take a knee.
Edmonton goes on the road in the first week of the CFL season and winds it out with a victory. Road teams 3-0 in week number 1. Ryan Dinwiddie and Mark Killam embrace at midfield. They'll see each other once again in week number 6 when these two teams come together at Commonwealth Stadium out in Edmonton. But a happy flight home for Killam in the green and gold.
Yeah, and for the Red Blacks, you know, the area they have to improve on was giveaways. They turned the ball over more than any team in the Canadian Football League last year. You know, but that was a lot due to young quarterback play. Well, today they had Max Duggan had one. We also had at the running back Collins had a turnover. So some of their young players had some turnovers. You can't lose the turnover battle and expect to win a lot of football games. That's what's got to change for the Red Blacks, because they actually were, you know, for how many turnovers they had a chance to win this game at the end.
Good night for the Red Blacks defense at times with the rebuilt linebacking core. Niles Morgan, CJ Rivas, AJ Allen, Jake Mayer, his first start here with the Ottawa Red Blacks. An opportunity to send an opening message to the home fans, but it was all Edmonton in the end. Cody Fajardo, touchdown pass to Austin Mack, gets it done. That does it for week 1 in the